Okay. Let's see. Turn down the music a little bit. Who else? Okay. Let's see. Is my stream even going? Okay, it should be. Hi everybody. Today's kind of an experimental day. I got home late, so I didn't think I was gonna do a full stream. But, tomorrow I'll be doing demos and stuff again. I have some stuff planned out for that. But today, because Paizocon is going on, and I like Pathfinder and Starfinder, I was thinking I could just do that today and watch like the footage from that and maybe react to it a little bit. So I don't know if this stream will be interesting to anyone or if anyone will even show up to it, but we'll see. For a little context, Paizocon is like the yearly Pathfinder. Paizo's the company that makes Pathfinder. And I wanted to see their stream because they show new stuff. So, yeah.
Hi, everybody! Welcome. It's that time of year again. Paizocon is upon us. We are here. You are here. It is Paizocon. OMG.
It'll be a little bit before they probably show anything, but yeah.
Morning. Welcome to the keynote of Paizocon.
I don't know how loud it is.
I am your publisher and chief creative officer at Paizo, and I am delighted to welcome you not just to Paizocon,
I wonder if
but to
there's
the
even any
Paizocon
sound.
keynote address. We've asked the creative staff of Paizo to come along and show off some stuff that they're working on. Talk about exciting new releases for Starfinder, for Pathfinder, for other cool things you probably don't even know about yet. We've got a parade of folks that come in over the next hour or so to give an overview of a taste, if you will, of some of the big reveals and deep dives we'll be doing all weekend long here at Paizocon. What is Paizocon? Paizocon is a virtual convention. We are gathering here online.
Yeah, since they stopped doing actual conventions, I think, a while ago, but I think they still do gather so people can do games and stuff.
Before I get any further, let me tell you, your key to the weekend's events all weekend long is paizo.com/Paizocon.
I think the stream's been up for like 8 hours currently.
Get set up in Paizo organized play events.
I'm probably not going to watch all that on stream, but like, you know, just skip around a little bit, see some stuff.
And games. It's a long weekend, you guys. We got games going all the way into Monday. So pop over to paizo.com/Paizocon for your full schedule of all the weekend's events. We'll be streaming right here at twitch.tv/officialpaizo all weekend long. We've got staff panels. We've got all kinds of stuff coming your way. Check out the full schedule at paizo.com/Paizocon. We are so glad to have you with us. Looking forward to chatting with you on some AMAs on the Discord. Looking forward to gaming with some of y'all. This is going to be an exciting weekend. We do it every year, and we are doing it right now. So organized play games.
Maybe I should get someone on here to
that's Friday at 4
watch with me. I don't know.
Pacific time, and will continue all the way through the holiday weekend into Monday. This keynote is just the beginning. This is an overview of all the excitement we have planned. Stay tuned for big announcement, reveals, and more. And let me start with a huge announcement. We have got a sale going on Paizo.com throughout the entire weekend of Paizocon festivities. So pop on over to Paizocon.
Just me joining my stream chat on my Discord.
Paizocon25. That's Paizocon25, all one word, and you are going to get 20% off a single order on Paizo.com. 20% off. That is a level of discount that we do not often do, but we're so excited to share this weekend with you. We've been doing this for over a decade now, and we are just so stoked for Paizocon, and we want to share that stokedness with you by extending a 20% off discount on a single order. Once again, Paizo.com orders Paizocon25. One word will get you 20% off a single order. My God, what a deal. This promotion does not stack with other discounts and cannot be used in subscriptions, pre-orders, back orders, and non-Paizo products. Okay, you got that? Paizocon25. That's the code. Check it out. All right, so you've got games. You've got panels. You've got Discord AMAs. But what you've got coming up right now is the rest of this amazing
hi, Adam. How you doing?
presentation. And up first, we have got Jenny Jarzabski,
are you okay
manager
today?
of the Starfinder team. And Jenny is going
I just got back from eating, and I was late, so I decided to
right now. It is
do like the Paizo stream instead of actually playing a game or something.
Oh my God, it's happening! Jenny, tell us all about Starfinder. I'll be back later. Take it away, Jenny.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Eric. We really appreciate that. Welcome to Paizocon. I'm ready, though, to take you to space.
Yeah, understandable that you would be EP in the morning.
2025 is the launch of Starfinder 2nd Edition, so I'm here with the Starfinder team, or at least most of us, to announce that for you. I'm Jenny Jarzabski, pronouns she, her, they, them, or
I saw that you
the Starfinder creative manager.
I am Mike Kimmel, pronouns are he, him.
Maybe,
I am a senior
but
developer on the Starfinder team.
Yeah, I saw that you posted the notes for the stream earlier. I haven't looked at those yet fully because I was going to do
we're
this.
Actually trying something a little different, and we're blasting off this campaign, the 2nd edition, with Galaxy Guide, which is available right now, or with a Starfinder rulebook subscription. Launch your first
Galaxy's Guide's been pretty good. I haven't looked over it fully, but like I skimmed it whenever I got it.
This is a rulebook
as I usually do.
Rules for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. That's also an exciting primer for the Starfinder science fantasy setting. In Galaxy Guide, we're exploring the most unique and interesting locations in the galaxy. But
it's like a city in a bottle.
With rules for players, like six new playable ancestries.
Yay!
6 archetypes tied to the most powerful factions in the galaxy, from Infernal Hell Knights to conservationist Xenowardens, or maybe Abadar Corp agents, if you're interested in a little corporate espionage. And we've also got a ton of backgrounds in there to round out your characters, plus tons of cool art. I mean, look at this. Look at this Skittermander Hell Knight. Like, can you imagine such a thing?
We did.
We did, and we put it in this book just for you. But if you want to play Starfinder, you are going to need to have some rules. So, Dustin, why don't you tell us about the next book that we're releasing this year?
Oh man, well the next book is going to be our player core. This essential book contains all the core rules for Starfinder, starting with the ABCs of character
Also
creation,
can't wait for that to come out, because it'll be very useful.
Tons of new backgrounds for sci-fi characters, which all help incorporate our new skills like computers and piloting.
Well, that's cool, Autumn. I hope you get finished with that soon.
Skills like lore and performance. There's a ton of new feats.
It'd be really cool to stream with you.
A freighter hold full of new high-tech and magical gear. You'll see a lot of things that you might have seen at the Gen Con playtest, plus just frankly just a ton of new stuff that
Wait a second.
Perfected and created since. You could get it subscribing to the Starfield at the Gen Con playtest, plus
I know that guy. That's Jules Zakama from the playtest.
Frankly, just a ton of new stuff that we've both perfected and created since.
I think he's shown up before.
You could get it subscribing to the Starfinder rulebook subscription, or you could pre-order it now, so you could get it ASAP in August.
Sounds great, Dustin, but what if I want a GM Starfinder 2nd Edition?
Well, if you want a GM, you will need the player core, especially for those spells and items. But you will also want to pick up the GM core. The GM core expands on all the rules and options you'll need for your campaign, including options like cinematic starship encounters, dynamic hacking rules, tips for running.
I can't wait for the dynamic hacking, because I really want something more complex than just doing a skill roll.
Or even taking your Starfinder characters all the way
or at least just one skill roll, you know?
Adventure paths. Vehicles, hazard, setting material, GM tips, special materials,
Ah!
monster
Look
creation
at the
rules,
little
adventure pads. Vehicles, hazard, setting material, GM tips, special.
Look at them little glitch gremlins. They're adorable. Adorable and chaotic.
Materials, monster creation rules, you have it. You don't need the GM core to play the game, but you'll probably still want it because it's full of a lot of helpful tools and tips to help inspire you to build your campaign and flesh out your world.
Speaking of fleshing out your world, we are very, very excited to announce Alien Core, our big book of monsters, machines, and marvels, or as I like to say, lots of bugs and robots. Don't worry, there's plenty more than that, but you can use these creatures to populate your galaxy or throw them at time-traveling adventurers. Perhaps you want to use these creatures, these aliens, for
time-traveling
adventurers.
Huh?
A-okay. They're designed for Starfinder, and the lore in the book and descriptions assume you're using them in a Starfinder campaign, but we have absolutely no problem. In fact, we encourage you to take these aliens and drop them on your unsuspecting Pathfinder player characters. We have an amazing cover here showing some new creatures as well as some classics. We have plenty of classic enemies, such as the spellcasting Necrovites. Creatures such
New
as
art for the
Scarak.
Necrovites.
You see, we are drawing from multiple
Scarak.
Alien Archive volumes from first edition here to round out the offerings in this book. We also have new creatures such
Was
as
the Scarak from
Canon
1E? I can't
Archons
remember.
and
Canon
giants
Archon,
that
wow.
have incorporated
Ooh,
fungal
giant!
biotech into their bodies to survive.
Okay, I'm gonna take a picture of that, send it to someone.
Reaches of space, and all kinds of new things as well as classic.
Well, I'll take a picture of it later.
From our past Alien archives.
And monsters like that Canon Archon are also perfect for our players to summon in the battle to torment their GM with. So you should probably also pick this up if you are a player.
That's right.
Absolutely, gotta have that edge. Speaking of players, though, we know that with these new books we have coming out, starting with August and then Alien Core releasing in September, we know that you're going to want to have some adventures to play. And we do still have our playtest adventures that are available, starfinderplaytest.com. Those are
I'm currently almost out of playtest adventures.
And fun adventures to play through, but we've got you covered with some brand new content. We have a deluxe adventure coming out, Murder in Metal City.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that one.
Pretty cool. It is our shot at a deluxe experience for first level characters that really walks you through just the leveling up process, the experience, and gives you an immersive, fun experience as first level characters starting out together. Whether you choose the pre-gens that we've lovingly created and placed in this,
I want to see the pre-gens. I always like looking at the pre-gens for these kinds of adventures.
To tell this story.
Like every free RPG day, I get really into like looking at the pre-gens.
I got to write this. I had the
and just
storing
those characters in the in my memory.
Here was the lead developer on the project, so I know he has a little bit more he can say about this adventure.
I love the plot we're kicking off with this adventure. Let me just say that while this is a self-contained adventure for first-level characters, it also touches on just very exciting themes that we're exploring in other areas of our campaign as well, and you really won't want to miss this one. I really encourage you to hop in. We have this awesome Skittermander pre-gen character you can play.
Oh, they're adorable.
With 5 other pre-gens.
Little goth Skittermander.
Core classes from Starfinder players.
Goth or punk, I can't tell which.
And you'll meet lots of interesting characters such as this robot, this SRO. Lucky compilation of numbers.
Are they gambling? I think they're gambling.
Cards, which we'll talk about more in just a little bit. This adventure is for.
Oh, I think the cards relate to the novel. they're gonna have like how to play the card game
level by the time
for the actual game.
Yeah. One more thing,
but
I
also
do
features
say
heavily
about
in the
this
novel.
Too, is it gives you a
I'm
rare
excited for that
opportunity
novel.
to really
I like Pathfinder
immerse
novels,
and
but like
experience our setting, not just level one.
Starfinder has
You
never
get to
gotten one
visit,
before.
the machine world Avalon, and specifically the metal city of Striving, which we have some gorgeous new art for. Really learn more about the Anacytes, who are machine people who live on this world, as well as other synthetic creatures like SROs, sentient robotic organisms, or androids, and others who have moved here into and created sort of a machine almost utopia, as you'll find out. It's almost a utopia on Avalon. And essentially, Murder in Metal City is your chance to solve a murder mystery affecting a close former friend or contact of yours. And you get a chance to explore this piece of the setting. We're really looking forward to it. You know, with Galaxy Guide, we're showing you kind of a primer, a bug's eye, so to speak, a swarm's eye view of the setting with our wonderful galaxy map poster that you can get in that book, which I don't think I mentioned. It has a super cool two-sided poster map of the galaxy and the packed worlds, but you kind of get a zoomed out view of all the cool hotspots in our setting. And then we're going to bring it in with player core and even GM core. We dig deeper into our setting and show you the packed worlds, which is our core planets, our core alliance of worlds, and then into near space where various threats and allies like the Beskarium, Polonus, which is our newest packed world, and other empires and organizations exist. And then here in some of our adventures we have coming up, we're going to really start zooming in to Starfinder and what people have been begging for, which is to just really dig into these weird planets. So Murder in Metal City is your chance to visit the planet of the machines and help some very logical people solve a murder. Or how is it that Tier 99 Professor describes their death? Don't they say something like
what?
A premature shutdown or something like that, Mike?
That's right, Jenny. Tierney, or Tier 99 Professor, informs you, greetings, friends. If you're watching this, it's because I've experienced an unexpected shutdown.
Oh, yeah, the
dead.
Yeah.
Which is
the murder mystery bot, yeah.
If I do say so myself. Well done, Jenny.
I really want to play that adventure.
Yeah, it's a great time. If you like robots, if you like, murder and murder mysteries, come on down for Murder in Metal City, releasing in August. You can also subscribe to the Starfinder Adventure subscription on Paizo.com to go ahead and pre-order.
I wish I could get the subscriptions, but I don't have the money for that.
I said our adventures would start to dive in and really
it would be so much easier
on Starfinder locations, and I was not kidding, because next up we visited Avalon, and now we're going to Eox. The next adventure
Eox, dead planet,
is Guilt of the Grave World, which comes out just in time for Halloween in October. That is written by Michael Bramnick. The Guilt of the Grave World is an adventure path that starts at level 1, exploring the dark secrets of the undead planet Eox. This adventure does, rather than giving you a snapshot of level 1, it does in fact go a bit longer and ends at level 5. This adventure also features Zoe, one of our very infamous undead celebrities that all sorts of people seem to have heard of, even sometimes in Pathfinder. And you might even learn some of the truth behind this undead media mogul's fame.
Oh, do we actually learn about his past?
This is another fun one because you get to deep dive and explore Eox. You'll get to fight the Corpse Fleet, those dreaded undead supremacists who even Eox doesn't want anything to do with.
Is that Scooby-Doo?
That's right. You start out working for Ulrika Clan Holdings.
Oh god, those ghost towns look like Scooby-Doo.
Fine until the Corpse Fleet gets in your business. So of course you have to go to Eox, the Grave World, and battle the Corpse Fleet, find unlikely allies, and it was spoilers. I won't get into the spoilers.
Lots of spoilers.
This is a fun one though. There's also, this one has a foray into our cinematic starship combat. So you notice, for those
is it the Nova Rush?
You'll note that we mentioned in GM Core there is a cinematic starship combat system that shows you how, as a GM and a player, to have a starship to run like chases or even battles with starships. We are going to have tactical starship rules coming out in a future book, and we will likely be playtesting that as well. But we are not quite there yet. So for now, we have some really cool cinematic starship scenes that can seamlessly run into your gameplay, working like complex hazards do to seamlessly integrate into your encounters and campaigns. So look forward to that and a taste of what that looks like in Guild of the Grave World. You can also go on a shopping spree in Pactport. So you ever want to go to like Mega Planet Hot Topic? Like there you go. It's right there. You can go.
And the toolbox in this adventure gives you a lot of really cool stuff you could buy too. There's some really, really spicy options in this book. So
yeah,
spicy,
there's a couple new spells as well in this book. There's also some new, a new ancestry and a new versatile heritage. Specifically, there is a corpse folk versatile heritage that allows.
Oh, they're still talking about Grave World, aren't they?
Fans of
I want to see how they do corpse folk. I know we've already got skeleton for Pathfinder, but like I want to see how they do corpse folk.
Maybe not. And yeah, so you also have Librians, who are the people who once lived. Well, they still are on Eox, but they're not really living anymore so much. There's a few who are alive, but most are dead or undead. So you can actually play a living Librian, which they look very human. They have kind of enlarged craniums.
Yeah, they got the big head.
Kind of like classic,
the long head
style, like alien kind of space pulp.
Yeah, I want to see that too, Autumn.
Talented,
how different they are from Borai.
The biggest population of them lives in essentially.
Lindenwald's been playing a Borai for my games.
Everything they do, but don't worry, they do have a union, and you can
actually a Borai of his first character that ran with me whenever we first played Starfinder.
Over 300 years
he
ago,
died during the Drift Crisis and was resurrected as a witch warper.
But many artifacts from that time remain, including the Infinity Deck.
Because he replaced his old self.
In the chaotic time after the gap, aliens found this deck all over the place and worked together to try to figure out how games were played using it.
I think I also played it as like
managed to create not only copies of the deck to sell all over the place, but tons of new games and ways.
Yeah, it is a choice.
The Infinity Deck itself contains 65
but then again,
cards and
I
5
think
plus rules for how to play 4 of the most popular games in the galaxy. It could be used.
I think I will admit, undead, like having undead be a versatile heritage, for the most part, is a good thing, because like there's gonna be so many aliens in Starfinder that like if you don't make them versatile, like there's gonna be so many options that people just won't have an undead for. So if they're versatile, because I remember in Starfinder 1E, a lot of new undead were just templates to put onto stuff.
Used as a standalone game, or something your characters could do together.
But I don't know, like
casino, or just having a fun game night activity
that's fair.
Between sessions.
That's fair.
You could own a piece of this Starfinder lore this August. But you better hurry up and get it.
I like card decks.
You could even buy a.
I wish I could get the new Hero deck. Like, I wish I had like an actual version of that, because I really like the Hero decks, and I like having the card decks. I'm not very good at taking care of them, unfortunately, but like I do like having them. I want to get like a case for one if I ever get one again.
A copy of the deck using the rules in our player core to make sure that your character is never without their own Infinity deck.
Yep,
but yeah, I might try to get the Infinity deck at some point.
I was going to talk about the tie-in.
You talk about the tie-in. Cut that. Let Mike.
In fact, a Infinity deck would be an excellent purchase for a character playing Murder in Metal City, also releasing in August. Nice timing. There's a fun portion of that very noir urban adventure where you have the chance to play some card games. And if you
I'm wondering if they're gonna do a Foundry module for the Infinity deck.
Playing cards using the Infinity deck. That is up to you and your players, but have at it. And have a fun and let us know how.
Yeah, that would be a very nice gift. Exactly. I wish I could get
lucky
one.
Enough to be able to sit down with.
I just don't have a lot of money to buy actual physical stuff.
The deck itself is by Paizocon. Joe Piscini and Jason Bowman worked on it together. and playing it on Tabletop Simulator was really fun. And I can't wait to get back to it.
Tabletop
Yeah,
Simulator.
It was super fun. It's going to hopefully be something you can use to round out your Starfinder campaign or give a gift to your favorite GM or your favorite player. So, we've talked about your essential rulebooks coming out. Yeah, your setting primer with Galaxy Guide coming out.
I hope they make a Foundry module for it so we can use that in our games.
You're going to want that on Foundry. By the way, all of these books are going to have Foundry supplements that you can purchase as well. You can
okay, yeah, they did mention it. Okay.
Or if you're lucky enough to be at Gen Con, you can check out our store and ask us about that. We will have Foundry support for this. And even Galaxy Guide is going to have some goodies that you're going to want to check out. But we've got this awesome game ready for you, full of aliens, and we've got a couple adventures you can start out by exploring some of the past worlds. But, I think there's just something missing. And it's not just the gap. I think that we need a novel. And we've talked about this novel. We've announced that we are going to finally fulfill this wish that many of us have had for so long to get a Starfinder novel, which is called Era of the Eclipse.
Yay!
Written by Tim Pratt, who
I'm really interested in this one.
Is of Pathfinder Tales fame. Has written other novels as well.
Because I've always liked the I've always liked the
and introduce you to
the little fictions they do of it, because it always expands the universe for me, at least.
Events in our setting, which is the gap. We thought, why not? Let's go to the source of it. Era of the Eclipse pulls back the curtain on a historical event that we've only really alluded to in the past, or included as part of a timeline in a source book.
I wish I could get physical books, but
to be trapped on
once again, can't really afford physical things.
Collective amnesia of their past life up till this moment. You'll learn about the founding of the Starfinder Society, which is a group that came out of that chaotic time. You'll also learn how the dreaded Hell Knights' autocratic Order of the Eclipse became a nefarious force in the Pact Worlds. And you'll get to spend some time in the present time of Starfinder and get to meet our iconic
handshake emoji.
Day, who are, in fact, appearing in this novel on screen, so to speak. So I'm so excited about this novel. We have the cover art to show you here. It's really amazing.
But you already showed the cover art.
I don't want to spoil it for you. I just think that it's a great read that is coming out this August. So
everything's coming out in August.
At launch.
But then again, that's when they're launching it.
Check that out. And don't forget, these books and more are available on Paizocon, and many are available by our subscriptions. We have the Starfinder Rulebooks, Adventures, and Special Edition. If you love those cool foil and sketch covers, we've got some really neat ones coming out. So please keep an eye out on Paizo.com for that, for more information about our upcoming playtests, accessories, blog fiction, merch, and more. And with that, this has been Jenny Jarzaffi with the Starfinder team.
It can't come soon enough.
We're going to take it back to Lost Galarian and pass this off to Jason Keeley and the Pathfinder team for the Hellfire Crisis segment.
Yay!
So we'll be up in space while y'all go to hell. So we'll see you later.
Yes.
Thank you, Jenny.
All right, listen up, grunts. When a diplomatic incident occurs in Isgar, the armies of Cheliax and Andoran clash at their shared border. This soon leads to other nations and factions to take sides in an event that will permanently change the face of the Inner Sea region. Welcome to war, soldiers!
Hi, I'm Jason Keeley, senior designer on the Pathfinder Rules and Lore team and design lead for the upcoming Battlecry hardcover. With me are Pathfinder lead designer Logan Bonner and developer Michelle Kim. Say hi!
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you. Battlecry will be Pathfinder's big Gen Con release with 2 new classes, the Commander and the Guardian, and an Ancestry.
I hope they fix the Guardian up a lot more, because I remember a lot of people having problems with the Guardian.
Spells, rituals, and items focused on waging war. The Commander is a battlefield leader, issuing orders to their squad mates to maximize the group's tactical advantages. And the Guardian is the ultimate protector, shrugging off the damage meant for their allies with their sturdy armor. Whether you're a player or a GM, you'll find just about everything you need to theme your characters and campaigns around conflicts both large and small in Battlecry. In addition to a look at the tensions brewing throughout Galarian after the God's Reign, the book includes advice for GMs running war-themed adventures, a garrison of new troop stat blocks, and rules for what we're calling skirmish encounters. Logan here is going to tell you all about that.
I am. Thanks, Jason. Skirmish encounters are a new type of encounter.
Yeah, I know the Breastwork is on the edge of Andor,
lets
and
everybody still play their Pathfinder characters, but also have
I think that's partially why my character usually does not like the Chelish government.
Each PC is going to get their own troops
because of the treatment of her hometown,
themes based on what your character's like,
among other things.
And every turn they get in combat, they're going to share a pool of actions, and they're going to move together. It's really just kind of like
oh no, my parents
within their troop and clashing.
Well, I think Alazia will be very sad about that
kind of
in game.
More epic fights. So it's the kind of thing you want to use.
Not to talk about myself in the third person, but the character, not me.
Feels like you get to play with all your toys that you put into your character.
For those listening, I play a character that has the same name as I do.
Additional mechanics like if you're familiar with the troop rules, they have different thresholds when they lose hit points, and you can rout the enemy troops and get them to run away. But if you're commanding a troop, you're going to make them
I might be interested in playing a commander at some point. I'm just not sure I'm charismatic enough to play a commander.
They're a little bit frightened of continuing to fight after they've gotten their butts handed to them. You can also, if you're preparing for the fight, you can spend a day training with your troop to get a special bond. So this might let a sneaky character help their troops with stealth, even though they'd normally be just a big infantry group clanking around. So it's got a lot of different options for.
Do we know if they're doing an adventure for this?
It's also great for just one-off.
For like the Hellfire
with a
Crisis,
a grand style to really show off that warfare element of this book.
That's fair, Autumn.
Back to you, Jason.
That's fair.
Awesome, thanks, Logan. Now, Battlecry is going to kick off.
Oh, 2 APs?
The
Cool.
Hellfire Crisis, another major setting event that pits the diabolic armies of Cheliax against the freedom-loving forces of Andoran, who will triumph.
I do really like war stories.
Respond. Now, you can participate in this ongoing
like
war,
just as a theme.
With the Battle of Hell Knight Hill, a special ticketed event occurring at Gen Con in the Sagamore Ballroom. You'll take your characters, or maybe some pre-gens, and fight alongside Eagle Knights to breach the walls of a Hell Knight Citadel, and perhaps face a few devils and other.
Wonder if we'll be able to get our hands on that, like, later
Other
on.
stories of this war are going to be told across multiple Pathfinder Society scenarios and 2 adventure paths, the first of which is Hellbreakers. And Michelle Kim is here to tell you all about that.
Thank you, Jason. Hellbreakers
yeah, I
is
think I
the
remember
first
that.
of 2 adventure paths that take place during this crisis, and it's going to be low level 1 to 9, ending with the PCs becoming level 10, and this journey is going to kind of reflect the growth and influence of the Hellbreakers as an organization, as well as the power of the PCs as they work in Isger to foment rebellion against their Chelaxian oppressors. And so this very, very much a scrappy rebels kind of adventure.
Oh, so it's like Hell's Rebels 2?
From oppressive rule, and maybe we'll see.
This sounds like Hell's Rebels 2.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Thanks,
I would like to play
now, as
in
the
that.
war progresses, we'll see its impact through a couple of Lost Omen settings books and other things. But finally, the Hellfire Crisis will bring us more Pathfinder fiction. With
Get
Operation
Alazia back
Hellmouth
to her
by
home
Chris
country.
Jackson. Keep an eye out for hellfirecrisis.com for more announcements about this ongoing event.
Ever since I made
it's time for us to
the decision to have
so over to John Compton and James Jacobs to
like
tell us,
Alazia be
about
from
even more
Cheliax,
adventure paths.
I've not interacted with anything Chelaxian despite that.
We've been also tying into a whole bunch of
I've never had the chance.
Narratives and our adventures. Recently, you may have seen something called War of Immortals, and that introduces mythic adventuring and gameplay. And we on the narrative team have been really excited to explore that. So we're going to cover a couple things coming up for the mythic side, as well as a few of the adventures that are not touching on mythic, as well as some new ways that we're telling stories in formats you haven't seen before. So let's see about getting to those. Speaking of which, today we have 2 members of the team to share some of the upcoming products. So let's start with James. Tell us about yourself.
Hey, I'm James Jacobs. I'm the Pathfinder Narrative Creative Director. Been at Paizo for almost the entire time, minus 1 year. Yeah, just adventures is what I live for. So excited to talk about them.
And I'm John Compton. I'm a lead developer on the narrative team and joined the team about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And excited to tell you about some of the upcoming adventures that we're going to be doing. But one of them is going to be kind of sounding a little bit familiar. James, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, starting in July, we're going to be going back and doing a hardcover compilation of the Gatewalkers Adventure Path.
Oh!
Folks probably already know about this. It's an adventure path we published a while back, but this one is
maybe they'll fix a lot of the issues we had, Autumn. I don't know.
Rebuilt and remastered for the current rules.
Make things a little bit more coherent.
And, we looked into feedback from people who have played it and all that, and it made a bunch of more quality of life adjustments to how things.
I hope they have.
Like
Gatewalkers is an interesting adventure. I just hope they make it better.
Kind of streamline and make this long expedition section. I'm trying not to spoil too much. This long expedition more exciting rather than more of a grind. So that again will be coming out in July and will be a complete adventure path for first level up to 10th level play.
That should be a lot of fun. So when it comes to some of our new content, one of the recent books
Hi Bear, how you doing?
You may have gotten your hands on was War of Immortals, which in addition to covering a whole bunch of really exciting developments in our
I'm doing okay myself.
Introduced mythic rules to the Pathfinder 2nd edition. And
that's fair,
so
Autumn. That's fair.
That are really playing with those rules and those themes.
I like the weird occult aspects of the adventure. I just was never.
Which is a level 1 through 10 adventure.
I don't know. I know we had our problems with that adventure.
We barely touched it in first edition beyond the Gazetteer article here or there. This is going to be really our first time doing some in-depth adventures there.
We are watching Paizocon, which is the convention that the creators of Pathfinder and Starfinder do, talking about their releases currently.
Even if we're not really replicating classic Greece, it's very much drawing upon some of those themes. So for Mythspeaker, it's going to be.
Yeah, I was gonna do demos today, but I'm gonna save that for tomorrow because I got home late.
Whether you're traveling from abroad over the Obari crossing trade routes, or whether you already live there, you're joining the funeral games of a VIP, but it's going to be interrupted by an interesting omen that you investigate. And in the course of that, you're going to get mythic power. And when people get mythic power in Iblados, everyone else starts to point at you and say, maybe you're the new hero gods. And that's really
unfortunately, a lot of us were not the type of people that take up leads very well, myself included. I could have been more proactive about it. I'm sorry.
And when prophecy started doing not so well about 100 years ago, Mythspeaking went with it. So the fact that you're going to be entering the whole domain of hero gods is kind of a novel thing. It's really exciting. It's a reinvigoration of the archipelago. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on you as you explore things, but also a lot of pressure on you to figure out your own mythic power ASAP, because your bodies aren't made to contain the power that you have obtained. So you're going to be spending some time getting used to this little pantheon that you're building, some of the time finding a way to endure the power that is coursing through you so that you don't explode by the end of the second book. And by the end of it also, you're going to be uncovering what is the nature of mythic power in Iblados. Why is
that's fair.
Mythic power here? And what awakened this most recent round of it? So really exciting, 3-volume AP. First volume comes out in July of 2025. And those 3 books are going to be The Acropolis Pyre, written by Kenderly Speedling and me. There's going to be Death Sails a Wine Dark Sea, which is written by Brian.
Death Sails a Wine Dark Sea is such a great name. So I really like that. I'm very interested to see what they do with Mythbreakers.
It sounds like we're introducing a new fate for player characters. There's not just the TPK, but there's a TPE, Total Party Explosion, it sounds like.
What?
That's the thing that you ideally are going to avoid. In book
okay, never mind. Okay.
In book 2, when your mythic power really comes to force, you're like, that's strange. Why do we keep on taking damage over time?
I feel fizzy.
This condition wasn't here yesterday, and so part of the storyline will be going through your kind of own Odyssey or Aeneid-like journey as you fortify yourself and learn to control the power that you have, going to some really exciting places and talking to some really exciting people along the way.
Excellent. Cool. About midway through. That's running from July through September. June, July, September. Excuse me. In September, we're we're unleashing a brand new style of adventure for us. It's part of the Pathfinder game.
Dawn of the Frogs.
The basic idea is it's an entire adventure in a box. So it's got everything in there that you need. It's got, let me see if I can remember it all. It's got like four pre-generated characters, rules reference sheets, two double-sided poster maps with all of the battle map stuff in the entire adventure that you want to play. Pawns for all of the PCs and all of the
if they
little slot things that you can put them all together.
If they do a Foundry module for that autumn, I'm totally gonna run that for you guys.
And of course, an adventure. It's a 30
I think that would be fun.
Split into 3 parts. And the goal of Dawn of the Frogs is to present these 3 basically one-night adventures for you and your friends to get together and play. They're all first-level characters, first-level adventures, and you play them in
I want Dawn of the Frogs. I really want it.
They create a overarching plot where you have to help this town of Bog Bottom, which has a frog problem. Exactly what kind of frogs they are, you'll have to play the adventure and find out. But they do have.
I love frogs. Frogs are great.
Watch out for those guys. Dawn of Frogs again. That's in September, and I hope people.
It's in September. Yeah.
It's got everything that you really need to play the game right there in the box. So in theory, you won't need to bring along like the rule book, the core rule book, or the monster book. All of that stuff is self-contained in there. So let us know what you guys think about when it's out. After Dawn of the Frogs, we're rolling into the 4th adventure path.
I hope they do a Foundry module for it.
And just as we did a low-level mythic adventure with Mythspeaker, which looks at like the mythic callings of your characters, in October through December, we're going to continue that theme, but shifting over to the high-level side of things with mythic destinies. And this adventure path is called Revenge of the Rune Lords. You
shit!
Probably recognize some of those letters and words and such. This is playing off of a storyline that started.
They just keep coming back.
Almost about 20 years ago, 19 years ago. I don't know, years and years ago. And we've gone back to do stories about the Rune Lords a few times. We're first with Rise of the Rune Lords, then with Shattered Star, and then with Return of the Rune Lords. In Revenge of the Rune Lords, this is a 3-part adventure path. Starts at 12th level, goes all the way to 20th level, and it focuses on your characters being very powerful mythic characters with mythic destinies. We're going to be introducing 4 new mythic destinies for you to play with. And the plot...
Yeah, you have Autumn. You have...
plot at this point.
Yeah, and he is back.
Fighting Rune Lords and Rune Lords wanting revenge. People who have seen Rise of the Rune Lords, Shattered Star, Return of the Rune Lords, one of the things that I've taken to heart and I've heard people say is that they never got to face the toughest, the baddest, the most powerful Rune Lord of them all. And I'm not going to spoil who that Rune Lord is, but he does come not quite at the end of the alphabet. And
Zandergool.
And he's very proud of being a Rune Lord, and he's going to be front and center in.
Is he really the strongest of them all?
Some other notable characters that we've been.
I guess if he's one of the last few alive. Oh, that looks really cool. Hi, Alexandra. How you doing? Alexandra. Sorry.
High level, high stakes adventure path.
How are you today?
Adventure paths, we don't want to set things up so that's like this is you're saving the world. It's more like you're saving.
Yeah, Pathfinder stuff. It's Paizocon today.
Even in the recent Spore War, that's more about like stopping a demon army from attacking the Elf Kingdom. It doesn't have much more stuff about it. If your player characters fail to win Revenge of the Rune Lords, you're going to have to take a pair of scissors to your maps of Galarian and maybe throw the whole thing away.
Oh no!
It's bad news if something happens as it plays out, because this certain Rune Lord who is coming back to get revenge has been, ignored and skipped over and even killed a few times before, and he is ready to take it all out on the Saga lands and anything around the Saga lands that is kind of attached to it.
Was Belmarius not a original one?
It's gonna be some fun stuff. I'm being a little bit coy on the exact details of what's going on in this thing precisely, as well as who's writing it. We will get into more
Bear, I'm not sure how to answer that.
Our adventures.
I
believe on Sunday.
Because I don't play a lot of fighters. Maybe Autumn can. I don't know.
Spoiler late in a more
What do you think, Autumn?
format, make sure to head on by that panel. And of course, we'll be around the entire Paizocon anyway, lurking around on Discord and elsewhere, eager and excited to answer questions. And,
I'm not good at explaining
that's what we've got
character
to
difference
and chat about and look forward to for Paizocon. Welcome to Paizocon, everyone. Anything else you wanted to add, John? Or
I'm just going to note that we missed our opportunity.
I agree with that, though. What Autumn said, that fighters in P2E are better than 5e fighters.
We should be ready to sell them a whole new wave of interesting stuff.
Well, we got that covered, I'm sure. I'm sure we thought ahead that far. But anyway, so speaking of cutting up the world and changing things and all that, that's a good segue to kick over to.
But then again, I'm biased towards 2e.
What's in store for the Lost Omen setting as a whole. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you around Paizocon.
Great. Thanks so much, narrative team. I don't know which one of you handed it off, but thank you either way. Hi, I'm Luis Loza. I'm creative director on the rules and lore side, and I have a friend with me. Hello.
Hello, I'm Eleanor Farron. I'm a senior
Does P2E have more of an active rolling combat? Because I want fighter that isn't built entirely for multi-attack and crit range.
And what's coming up in the Lost Omen.
So Bear, fighters in 2E are basically solo nukes, I guess you could describe them as. They hit really hard. But as Autumn's saying, they do get bespoke actions. I know they can also get like cool stuff to do with shields to the point that they can like block spells with them and stuff like that. Shields are a little bit more useful in P2E, I think. I don't know how useful they are in 5e, but yeah, you can like raise shield and stuff. Fighters are also the only one that gets like attack of opportunity. Well, like yeah, attack of opportunity. Yeah, at a higher level, like at like 20th level, there is a very anime-esque move you can get for fighter where it's like a 2-action ability where the first action is to slice a hole in fucking space. And then like your second action is to attack someone from up to like 80 feet away. You can just do that at a higher level if you take that ability. It gets crazy what they can do. Which that's the thing about marshals are in a pretty good place. I still think spellcasters are in a pretty good place, but like you don't expect to be doing as much as fighters do at times or like stuff like that. Let's see. I might have to go over Pathfinder at some point because like Pathfinder and Starfinder because I want to do more streams, so we might look into that at some point. I don't know. Cause like I don't pay attention to martial characters all that much. Maybe monk, maybe rogue. I've played a exemplar before, but only in playtest. I'm mostly a caster most of the time, but maybe I should do Pathfinder streams sometime, and then like yeah, we should collab, Autumn. That would be great. We could make some characters or something like that for like make characters with chat or something like that. That would be pretty cool. Maybe we can find a day when we can do that at some point. But then again, I don't know if you have a free day whenever I'm streaming at some point. But then again, I could always just do something. I don't know. Anyway, back to the stream, I suppose.
What to expect later in the year. We have already seen
Bear, definitely fighters can be very tough and useful in combat.
And seem to enjoy it. I think everyone had a good time with that. What do you think, Eleanor?
Everybody tell Luis you enjoyed our book and chat.
Yes. Tell me how much you loved it and that you bought 4 copies each, one for every player at your table. and I'll be so happy. I'll add a new class to the game.
That's true, Autumn.
I'm sorry. But today we're here to talk about a couple new products in the Lost Omens line, and I'm
believe his lies.
Don't believe my lies.
Well,
Does
Autumn,
that mean that my
are
joking
you
with people
you're free
say
today
that I'm
usually,
feeling
right?
is a
Like
lie?
on Fridays? We could do
I'm
one
going to
on
talk about
Friday at some
the
point.
first of these couple products that are coming down the
Maybe
line.
I could like
We
start
already
doing
announced this
like
book.
Pathfinder on
Lost Omens:
Fridays
Shining Kingdoms.
or
This is
something
a
like
book
that.
all
Like
about the
just
Shining
just
Kingdoms
do
region
whatever instead of just
of
games.
the Inner Sea, and the Shining Kingdoms are kind of our take on classical high fantasy. They have knights.
God,
Court
I really
leadership,
want to get
dwarves, elves, all the
Shining
kind of
Kingdom
stuff you
soon
expect
because it seems
when
really
you think of
cool.
high fantasy,
Yeah, ask
but
my friend about
with
that.
our own little Pathfinder twist. And Shining Kingdoms
For me to get it
is
totally
a
legally,
192-page book
I'm
that
buying
delves
it.
into
Just
the history of the region,
I didn't
the
need to imply
factions
anything like
of the
that.
region, the people who live there. There's not going to be any new ancestries in this book, but there will be some new ancestry feats here and there for the people who do live there. So expect,
Yeah,
similar
Adam, I'm
feats,
also
things
like
that.
usually busy on Sundays
And
too
there are
with
6
another
nations that
game,
make up
so
the Shining Kingdoms. The first is Andran, which is a nation all about
but yeah, the only days I stream
democracy,
so far
and trying
are
to liberate people, give them the freedom that they
Monday,
want, and kind of a really nice place to live. All
now
things considered, within the context of our setting, the book will go
and tomorrow.
into a gazetteer, the
So if
history
you're
of
free
the
on
area,
any of those days,
tell you all
well,
about notable people.
Monday
And
I
each of the
do
nations that we
long
look at will
play
also
games with
feature
Tansy
a specific
currently, and
city
also possibly other
that we
people in the
give you a deep
future.
dive on as well. For Andran, we're going to be taking a look at the city of Almas, the capital
So
of
yeah,
Andran.
Friday
Give
would
you a
probably be
map
the best
of
for
the
that.
city and a bunch of cool locations and adventure hooks like you can kind of
So we'll have
expect
to we
with
can
all
we
of
can
our
schedule
Lost
that at some
Omens
point.
books. In addition to that,
If you're up for
each
that.
nation has its own grouping of new player options. For Andran, we're going to be providing you the
Since
Evil
I
Knight
know you're a
archetype,
lot better with the
as
rules
well
than
as
I
some new
am.
magic items that are tied to
I kind of
Warthar's,
just
like
wing it
God's
most of the
Remnants,
time when DMing.
a new type of gun
You can
made up
probably
from
tell.
Warthards that the Eagle
Well,
Knights have started
tell
to develop, which
whenever
is
I'm
really cool and really powerful.
just trying to get by on GMing.
It should be real fun to put into your players' hands.
See,
We
because you've
also
been in
are
like
looking at
every
the
one of my
nation of Druma,
games
which
for
is
Pathfinder.
focused on mercantile and just anything that's good for business. And we will look at the capital city of Kersey.
Yeah, I just can't do that.
Player options include
Autumn, I just
Coffin of
cannot
Calister
plan that
archetype.
far ahead.
And there's also some new animal
I take it
companions
like
that
one
we'll be
level at
trying
a
to roll out.
time.
Bakalia, which is a special little alpaca buddy
Aww,
who is known and
alpaca
raised for
buddy.
its very fine fur. Very cool friend to take out into a dungeon with you, of course.
I want the
Then we
alpaca
move on to the Five
buddy.
Kings Mountain, which are the regions of the five
Oh,
kingdoms
look at that
of the
eagle.
dwarven nations.
That
Abyssin.
rock.
It's the Dwarflands, basically. Here we didn't look at the main city that you
I
expect,
really need to start looking into like where we were at on
instead we're
Sky
going to be
Kings, since
looking
we're
at the
going
city of
back to
Orod,
that again.
which
I
is
might
a big center
take
of
next
religion
week
for
off
the
from
region, and
DMing
there are lots of
Pathfinder
major temples for each
just
of
so
the
I can get back
gods
to
of the
where
dwarven
we were
pantheon.
in like
In addition to this, you're going
just
to
so
be
I
seeing
can
new
like
feats
figure
for the
out where
Stalwart
we are in
Defender
Sky
archetype from
Kings.
Lost Omens Highhome, new spells for members of the Rivathune, and even the giant rock Tuatara animal companion for all of you people who know our iconic Rivathune emissary, Shardra, her friend. You can take one for yourself as well. Things then take a look at the nation of Galt, where things have gotten a bit better since we last saw Galt.
Ghosts.
Things are feeling a little more stable, maybe a little less chaotic, and we'll take a deep dive into the capital city of Isarn. While we're there, you'll get a chance to take on new ghost feats. If you took the ghost archetype, there's ghost feats tied to someone who may have died in the revolutions in Galt. There's new magic items tied to the final blades. Now a lot of them have been dismantled. They're using that metal for something else. And also there's going to be an archetype artifact. For those of you who know that from Treasure Vault, there's going to be the Splinter of Finality, which is something to look forward to. It's fun to expand on some of these more
the
obscure
Splinter of
character
Finality.
in there when we have a really good idea for that. Those of you who have been playing in the Spore War Adventure Path might know Kyonin, and those of you who don't, well, you'll get a chance to learn about Kyonin here in this book and its capital.
Yeah, I've never known a lot about Kyonin.
One of the new factions in this book is a group called the Wilderhearts. These are
the
elves,
Wilderhearts,
not exclusively elves, but started as a group of
God,
elves
that's a
and
long ass popper.
are committed and trained well enough, who are good at fighting demons. It turns out when you have a lot of training fighting Tree Razor and his forces, you get to figure out a lot of ways to deal with demons. So there's a lot of cool options for that. Any kind of fiend fighting figure might find a lot of fun stuff to do with this archetype. It's also a new magic school that's focused on teleportation and teleportation spells. Kionin is known for the Ayadara, the elf gates that they use to travel the world, and of course, that means they have a good understanding of teleportation magic. And the final nation we'll be looking at is Taldor, our decadent nation of just full of nobles and courtly intrigue. If you want some backstabbing going on between nobles and aristocracy, it's going to be happening here, and probably in the capital city of Apara, which we'll be featuring. We're going to be remastering the Lion Blade archetype and expanding on that for the
that emblem.
And we're also going to have new magic items connected to the courts of Taldor and connected to Grand Princess Eutropia, like the Taldagus badge, which is just a badge featuring her dog, and it gives you a bonus to diplomacy because who doesn't love Taldagus? And
is that literally
cool magic items like
the pupper's name, Taldagus?
The Grogger scent, which the legends that you can learn about in Monsters and Myth are really cool, very powerful lion that's important to Taldor's history. And of course, while you're out adventuring in the Shining Kingdoms, we're going to give your GMs plenty of monsters to throw at you as well. We have a new Fae troop called Baron Frost Hunt, which is a troop of ice-themed Fae that can freeze like entire towns if enough of them get together. There's the Shroudwing, which is a gross vulture thing that like it's not.
Oh, is it undead?
Itself, but it feeds on undead. This guttural.
Of course it would. It's a vulture.
Emit to frighten people, and if you're dying, it can come over and start chomping at your soul and slip you further towards closer to death, and eventually like eat you up entirely. And we also have a new,
that's mean.
Creature called the Failed Prophet, which is an undead representing those prophets of Calistrade that didn't quite succeed.
Okay, the Calistrade. Okay, cool.
Instead of just moving on to the afterlife, have become this twisted undead creature that maybe you can call on a Shadowwing or two to help you out to deal with those. But that's what to expect in Shining Kingdoms. It's out very soon from now, and that's coming out next month in June. But the next month after that, in July, we're also going to be handing you the Shining Kingdoms map archive. I mentioned 6 nations, 6 different cities. There's a lot of maps here, and we figured some of you might want to use these at your table. So the map archive is producing these large fold-out posters of each of the nations, and on the other side is the associated cities. So Andrin will have Almas and stuff, and there's going to be a total of 7 posters, the 7th being a poster of the Shining Kingdoms region. One side has all the map tags that you want, so you know where everything is. The other side is blank, so you can use it at your table and mark up your map however you want for your given campaign. So those are all coming together in one nice little box to keep them all stored together in July. And then
I feel like
fall, we have
I feel like Eleanor is feeling like right now. A little bit. Just watching.
Oh, I would love to talk about them. So, Louise, I think the Monster Core is a pretty cool book. But
Monster
have you
Core
ever
is
thought
pretty
to
cool
yourself,
book.
this book would be a lot cooler if it had a lot more dragons?
Oh,
yes,
dragon!
All the time, I do, in fact.
Great, so we're
all
in
the
agreement
stuffies.
Here. In fact, I don't see why we need any monsters except dragons. And since we all agree on this,
it's the Dragon Codex, yeah.
Lost Omens Dracodex.
I'm excited for the Dragon Codex. Dragons are always cool.
And mostly just dragons. We might, if we're feeling generous.
She's got so many stuffies.
Or 2.
Oh, kobold.
But it's dragons all the way down. So many dragons. We've got remastered dragons that haven't yet been shown off in a monster core, like this magma dragon. A
Ooh.
dragon that is super hot, even hotter than a
I'm
sea
very
dragon,
interested to see where
and
they go with
can
the
eat
dragons.
through
I'm
magma,
really
not
interested to go
swim
see where they
and
go with the
burrow through
Starfighter
magma,
dragons.
because magma still has
Yeah,
the
they had to go.
viscosity of
They had to
rock.
go away
Everybody
from
be
how dragons
scientifically
work.
correct about magma in your games.
How
We're gonna impart science lessons in our books.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had to go away with
we
how
want these
D&D does dragons because of the ORC and the debacle with the
you are
licensing and stuff like that.
being very charitable about the world.
So a lot more dragons are based off like
We're also
the forms of magic.
dragons that have previously
So I'm guessing a magma dragon is a primal dragon.
you in second edition, like this delightful delight dragon.
Oh.
Some of you may recognize this as having maybe had a different name in first edition, but
I'm not
we don't
sure
believe
what it
that propaganda.
was.
We don't call them havoc dragons.
Oh, havoc
because
dragon.
they
Okay.
trash everything while being curious and eat
Oh.
all your cookies and
Are they
cause
tiny?
problems with your evil party members now. They are delight dragons because they are delightful, and you can see them in this book. And you could also see them in the Pathfinder CRPG
What
Radical
Adam said.
Righteous. If you're lucky, and make good decisions, and are cute. Chad is cute.
I'm always cute.
But wait, there's more. We also have brand new dragons, because we're not going to make you buy a dragon book that only has boring old remastered and previously shown in Pathfinder dragons. We have the Barrage dragon.
Ooh.
And several others.
Okay,
this
yeah,
Barrage
now.
dragon
See,
is known for shooting magical missiles out of the cannon-like structures on its body.
That is not what I expected that dragon to do. Looking at it, I thought this was like a gym dragon. But now that they say that it basically shoots magical energy at people from the little cannons, I think that's cool. I like this dragon.
And several others like it. And this Barrage dragon is known for shooting magical missiles out of the cannon-like structures on its body. And it
That's
powers
cool.
this by these like metal ball bearings that are roiling under its skin. And it's super cool if you want to shoot your players with missiles. And who doesn't want to shoot their players with missiles?
Yeah, right?
You can shoot your players with missiles in this game, and you don't have to pay Lancer to do it. But you should also
Lancer mention.
But wait, there's more. We are also debuting, for the very first time, the stats for Arch Dragons in second edition.
Arch Dragons.
Hey Luis, what's an Arch Dragon?
So when a dragon grows up, it gets more and more powerful, and we talk about in our monster core, for example, our young dragons, our adult dragons, our ancient dragons, and we name drop the idea of arch dragons at the very end. That's the oldest of all dragons, the most powerful, the ones that get not only the best stats, but also cool new powerful abilities that none of the other stat blocks have. So yes, an arch dragon. You can take, I don't know, an adamantine arch dragon, or a conspirator arch dragon, or even arch dragons for the barrage dragon that we just talked about. Arch dragons all across the board.
Or an omen arch dragon, like this
Ooh,
cool
I like its orb.
arch dragon that we're showing you on the screen.
It's pondering that orb.
Now.
It ponders
What's
itself.
the thing that the omen arch dragon can do?
I don't know what it can do, but it can ponder this ginormous orb.
See, we're on the same page. It ponders itself.
Pondering the orb is a free action for an omen arch dragon because it's powerful.
I need an orb. I need an orb to ponder.
There's more, which we're not going to tell you about because we need to have something to promote this book later. But
banning that bot.
Stay tuned. Mark your calendars. Draconic Codex coming soon.
You'll have a Draconic Codex by the end of the year, and I think that wraps up everything that's happening on the Lost Omen side of things. So unless you have one more no, we can't tease them with more dragons. Well, that's enough. They'll have to wait. Instead, we'll look at other monstrous things here. So I'm going to hand it off to Joe Pacini and to to Michelle Kim, and to what's this, Eleanor Farron next to talk about
and to me.
just what else we have monstrous up our sleeves. Thanks everyone for coming to Paizocon. We hope you look forward to all the stuff Lost Omens coming soon.
Hi, me. Thanks, me. I'm back, and I'm here to introduce my colleagues, Michelle Kim and Joe Pizzini, for a very exciting announcement. I am so excited. You have no idea how long we've been forced to sit on this due to NDAs. Why don't you two take it away?
Hi, I'm Michelle. I am a developer on Pathfinder, and I am one of the, or maybe the question mark writer of the game we're about to introduce. Joe?
Yeah, and I'm Joe. I designed this game, and it is called Monster
Yes.
Mash, and it's. Can you guess what it is from the title? Why don't we just tell you?
You know what I need to do
Pathfinder
at
has
some
a lot of
point?
action and adventure, but we're going to add a little bit of romance.
A Smash or
to the end of
Pass
this year.
list, definitely.
And you're going to get to date monsters. That's the
Definitely
sweet way
need
of
to do
saying it.
that.
So it's
Just for a
it's quick
meme.
game for 2 to 6 adventures where you're going to take monsters on dates, give them gifts, and build connections with them. We had a chance to play it recently in one of its final forms and had a pretty good time, and we hope you will too. Do you want to talk about what's in the game, or should we skip to?
Don't look at me. I'm just the wardrobe department.
That's another collab we could do. Is Smash or Pass list.
There are different monsters you can date, and you try to win compatibility with them basically by taking them on dates, giving them gifts. You can compete for the same person, as happened in our game. Joe and Jason Bullman had a little fight over a genie.
Very true, and I think I remember winning that. Finally, I don't usually win games that I play with Jason Bullman, but this one time,
yes, you did win over Janie's heart.
Yeah, and the art style is cool. It's the art style is a dating sim style done by Gunship Revolution with the art direction of Paizo's director of visual design, Sonia Morris, which is great. And I think we should each say we've talked about doing this, but we didn't prearrange which monsters we would pick. But we should say which of the 20 monsters that come in the game we're most looking forward to dating, and maybe what date we want to take them on. And
I told you dibs on the genie.
You did say dibs on the genie, but
no, I'm stealing your man, Joe. I'm stealing him.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Jason Pullman may have failed, but I'm stealing him. I don't know. He's so dreamy. I dreamy of the genie.
Okay.
I bet he could grant some wishes of mine.
All right, before anyone gets fired, how about you, Michelle?
I'm pretty basic. I do love a good vampire.
That's fair, Autumn. That's fair.
I wrote them all. Is a spa date, I'm pretty sure. So I would love to just go to a spa, and spas are usually discounted at night, or like saunas at least. So.
Well, a spa sounds a whole
I
lot
can do it with someone else. That's fair.
Hey, you know what? That works on some of them.
Some monsters do like a nice rotten bag of fruit, which is actually a gift that you
can yes, a rotten bag of fruit.
I actually have my eyes on, I think, Glub the Sentient Ooze. Like, I just have to go with Sentient Ooze. I hope to win Glub's lack of a heart one day.
I'm watching.
Maybe we can go to a concert. That would be nice.
The Pathfinder stream.
Yeah,
the Paizo
very excited about this.
stream.
Everyone in the company has been kind of squirming excitedly since the idea came up.
Anything exciting?
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff
in the company actually, and we decided to make a board game out of it.
Like
so
what?
They showed some dragons, some adventures stuff, a little bit more of the match game that I was just telling you about.
Find out.
Yeah.
You never know.
Over to them.
Still streaming it if you wanna watch that.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Paizocon. We are your organized play developers. I'm Jessica Catalan, Senior Developer here at Paizo and Head of the Starfinder Society.
Let me just.
And I'm Shay Snow. I'm one of the Pathfinder Society developers.
And I'm Josh Foster, the other Pathfinder Society developer.
Right now, here at Paizocon, we are launching the final adventure for
that's the wrong
Starfinder
window.
First Edition.
Fuck.
Starfinder Society scenario number 714. The final assessment is a challenging, high-level adventure for experienced Starfinders that makes a return to the Scoured Stars. It's for 11th to 14th level characters and is written by our very own associate publisher, Thurston Hellman. This is a capstone adventure, really meant to bring your beloved Starfinder's career to a momentous conclusion. It's got some callbacks, memorable combats, a fateful decision, and has the potential.
Earlier they were talking about some Starfinder adventures that I'm really excited for.
So get in the game.
I'll probably tell the group about those later.
Former First Seeker Jed Nora is waiting for you. But of course, the end of Starfinder First Edition does not mark the end of Starfinder. We are launching Starfinder Second Edition in a few months, and right alongside it is the Starfinder Society.
Yeah, I'm really interested to try to do Starfinder Society. I just don't know how that's going to go, though.
Starship has crash landed on
I can't wait to live in a society.
unleashing a wave of destruction, dangerous robots, and monsters.
Just play Space Clown, obviously.
The Starfinder Society is one of the first teams on site to explore this mysterious and incredibly dangerous starship,
which is totally a thing you can do.
The wreck of the Return. What connection does this site have to the fabled First Ones, and what doom does its arrival herald for the people of Akaton? I welcome you to join us for Invasion's Edge, the first season of the Starfinder Society.
I like the little Sharon there, who's always nervous. That character's popped up multiple times.
The numerous scenarios we have planned for you, and the future of the Starfinder Society turn into our organized play panel right here at Paizocon. I'll see you in the future.
And over here at the Pathfinder Society, we are going to be launching into the Year of Battles Spark. But before we can do that, we have our scenarios dropping here at this convention. And the one that I specifically want to talk about is Pathfinder Society 6-16, which is the heart of the city. Hesla Ember Splitter has been at the center of a very big plot. And at this point, it's time for Pathfinder
Pansy,
Society
I was gonna propose this to someone. I don't know. I want to do a smash or pass list of Pathfinder or Starfinder monsters eventually.
Along the way, you'll also find out
okay.
just a little bit more
and I
about
need someone to do that with.
backstory and
I was gonna ask
whatnot
Autumn, but
the
she said
leader
she's ace,
of the
so
cult
like.
of the Screaming
Well,
Grub.
she.
Heart of
I
the City is
guess I
written by
shouldn't
our own
phrase it
Rudicky,
that way. She is ace.
And in addition, that leads
Not
into
says.
all of our new upcoming
We stand an ace
scenarios,
queen.
and which
Yeah, Bear.
what walks again, which everyone goes, hey, why is Discari
I
on the
might take
cover,
like a
Shay?
few people.
No answers.
Once I figure it
Coming
out.
into Battle Spark, enough is enough as Cheliax has taken its last swing at the Pathfinder Society. We are returning back to Breach Hill for the first time since Age of Ashes. Just to kind of help out and see what's going on as the Eagle Knights decide to stop a big Hell Knight swarm.
I mean, that's kind of the point.
City. Further on throughout the year, we'll be going to places such as Karamaga, Iblados, and Nightall.
Oh yeah, Bear, there's a big war brewing with Cheliax. That's the entire meta arc currently, is that there's going to be a big war with Cheliax and Andoran.
That is going to be setting off a major conflict. And we had thought,
funnily enough, Alasia is from Cheliax. She really does not like the Cheliaxian government, so if I ever get to play her in one of those games, it's going to be interesting because I've never gotten to interact with Cheliax as her.
Battle for Hell Knight Hill will be a Gen Con event like nothing else, where you control the Andoran army.
I'm not sure if I've told you about that, Tansy, since you haven't played Pathfinder. Cheliax is basically like the fascist devil worshipping government.
The rules for Battle Cry.
Yeah, they're not great.
It's gonna be
pretty
spectacular. We haven't done anything like this before, so. You'll definitely want to get.
And Andoran, I compare them to like colonial America, kind of.
Another scenario that
but like
Paizocon,
better at least for the most part.
Those devils happen to be Chilaxian, and those details happen to be a God's Reign based super weapon that they're developing, and that you kind of accidentally stumble across.
A super weapon, huh?
So if you want to play a God's Reign scenario that's leading into this Hellfire Crisis, that's one to look into. It's a level 7 to 10 adventure, and it's going to be some high level fun.
maybe Adventure Gossip hadn't gotten kidnapped, we'd have known about that super weapon. And also, if you really want to see if you can help out Venture Gossip, at Gen Con you'll be able to take part in Under the Eye of the Mantis, where we discuss the Red Mantis Dispatch, the Red Mantis Assassins, and the Pathfinder Society.
Ooh.
That does sound pretty incredible. But in addition to a lot of Devils and War, we're still doing Pathfinder Society stuff next season. For instance, I know that
Autumn,
John
would you still
Compton's
want to
busy
do
on Myth Speakers, Iblados, a area of Galarian that we really haven't seen much of. And Shay and I were thinking, why hasn't the Pathfinder Society
the Mantis adventure that currently is
so we're going to be sending you all
that we were talking about that one time?
If you want to play 7,
can't remember the name. Pray for Death.
The door.
I think it was.
That's going to be a blast. Then, well, we have
there you are.
a Draconic Codex.
Oh, did I go down?
Coming out.
Yeah, I got really worried there because the stream was loading and you stopped talking and
I hope it
out.
didn't stop, but
you help out
it's still going. It's still going.
Okay, cool.
Just got a little worried there.
So we're going to have a scenario where you get to do just that, just slug it out, and we think that's going to be a blast too. But that's what I've got in the works.
All right, and that was us over here with Organized Play, and now back over to Mr. Eric Mona to wrap up our keynote.
Thank you so much, Paizo's Organized Play team. Organized Play is such an important part of what we do at Paizo. It's such an important part of my connection to Pathfinder and role-playing games in general. We love Organized Play, and Organized Play is going on all weekend long. Check out Paizocon.com/Paizocon to sign up. We are launching 2 new seasons of Organized Play at Gen Con in just a couple of months. Now is a great time to get involved. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eric Mona, your publisher and Chief Creative Officer. And thank you once again for joining us for Paizocon. I hope you've enjoyed our keynote presentation. We have got panel presentations all weekend long right here on twitch.tv/officialpaizo. And we would love for you to join us for some, if not all, of those presentations. You can check out the official schedule at paizo.com/Paizocon. I want to reiterate, we have got an amazing sale going on right now on paizo.com. Check it out. You can get up to 20, not up to, you can get 20%.
Years. Yet now it seems adventure
I need
has
to
found
go forward.
Vehicles, and yes, cinematic starship scenes at least and what they want to know. You still got your core species, androids, Vesk, Yosoki, etc., but every one of them has been rewritten. With
it's like still being
Sure, if you spent
I
6
went
or
back to
less
the beginning.
time, you get a bonus down the road, and then you might get a choice on which. These rules emphasize collaborative fast.
Okay.
Let's talk about what's new, what's changed, and why this book is the future of the Pact Worlds and beyond. So first off, what is this book? Starfinder Player Core is your one-stop shop for character creation in 2E. We are talking 6 classes, 10 ancestries with heritages, new versatile heritages, we'll come back to those in a second, background skills, feats, spells, and gear, and crucially, is designed from the ground up to sync cleanly with Pathfinder 2E's rule set, meaning if you've been playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you are going to be able to jump right at. Let's talk real quick about the shift from 1E to 2E. 1E got pretty complicated at higher levels. Player Core adopts the same proficiency with level structure as Pathfinder 2nd Edition, so scaling is cleaner, with threats more predictable. You can just build for flavor and story, and you know you're going to be mechanically sound. Combat uses a 3-action economy, just like Pathfinder 2nd Edition, which makes every turn more flexible and cinematic. Each class has a cleaner chassis and a clear identity. Solarian, Mystic, Operative, they've all been updated with better internal balance and fresh feats. And every ancestry, of course, has its own heritages, plus versatile heritages that add even more flavor customization and cross all the ancestries. So this isn't just polish, this is a redesign. Tighter math, cleaner turns, and way more player agency. You don't have to learn 2 entirely.
Did you see the hat?
So this isn't just polish, this is a redesign. Tighter math, cleaner turns.
That's great.
and way more player
Who
agency.
needs a hat
you
when
don't
you've
have to
got
learn two entirely different
holograms?
systems to play both
I think
Pathfinder
that's
and
them
Starfinder,
ordering
which is what held
stuff.
me back from fully diving into this
Because
one.
earlier they also
So
had
let's
like a
talk about
picture
veteran
from
Starfinder players.
one of the books where they're at like a thrift store picking out stuff, and I think it would be the perfect image for Oshi.
They want to know.
Because like they
You
have like
still
a
got your
big
core
pink
species, Fisk, Yosoki,
like a
etc.,
big
but every
pink
one of them has been
jacket
rewritten
that
with
one of
new
them
attribute
has.
options and feat trees and deeper lore.
Oh, look at that guy.
You'll also find Barai, who are half-living, half-undead folks, and Prismini, drift-touched beings, both as versatile heritages.
God, that
Meaning that you
Borai
can
is
take them
hot.
with any ancestry, be a Barai Yosoki or a Prismini Vesk. We get 6 playable classes right out of the gate here. Envoy, your classic face support hybrid. Mystic, divine psychic casters with sanctified spell options. Holy and unholy traits are in now. Operative, your mobile skill monkey and ambusher. Solarian, focused on balance with reworked photon graviton mechanics. Soldier, your customizable martial powerhouse. And Witch Warper, your chaos bringing spellcaster, pulling power from those alternate realities. Expect tight class feat ladders and archetypes on top of that foundation. Characters can now carry a holy or an unholy trait, which interacts with your sanctified spells and abilities too. It's a subtle alignment adjacent system, but it adds meaningful flavor and mechanical impact to your choices. And of course, backgrounds. Every character gets a background that gives you 2 attribute boosts, train skill, and
They
a
look
skill
fun.
feat. Backgrounds now tell you little micro stories, from being raised on the frontier planet to being a drift scavenger to growing up in a corporate habitat. This encourages flavorful builds without having to sacrifice optimization. Also, character creation is now faster and more intuitive. You start with a clear structure, and the book walks you through it like a character building assistant. It's approachable, but it still has some teeth. I always describe Pathfinder and now Starfinder as a game that trades in a little bit of simplicity for a larger rules playground, which enables you, the player, to build a character that's unique to you. While in some games, one 5th level paladin is pretty much the same as any other 5th level paladin, in Starfinder, I promise you,
Look
your
at you,
character is going to be one of a
5e.
kind. The new player core really leans into role play hooks, crunchy but manageable combat, modular mechanics, and all the science fantasy shenanigans that makes this setting so much fun. Now let's
Yes,
shift gears and
bubble
talk
helmet.
about GM Core. If Player Core is your storytelling toolbox, GM Core is the blueprint for building your game skeleton, muscles, and beating heart. It'll teach you how to build and run your campaigns. But you are probably savvy about this stuff if you're watching this, so let's talk about some surprises in this book.
At least one of these books should have options for Pathfinder's core ancestries, so there'll be like gnome and goblin stuff in there. I can't remember which one.
Things about Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and it is great to see it rolled into Starfinder.
I can't remember if it's the player core or the GM core, but
tension, the
I can't remember which.
makes that feel like political combat. You want a pulse-pounding race through a corporate arcology. The chase rules make it cinematic and easy to manage. You get frameworks for hacking, infiltration, research, vehicles, and yes, cinematic starship scenes that lean into story beats over hard tactics, but more on that in a sec. And because they're standardized, you can plug them into your homebrew or published adventures alike without breaking stride. But let's talk about the space elephant in the room, starship combat. If you play Starfinder First Edition, you probably have feelings about the original Starship system. It was ambitious, but let's be honest, it could be sometimes slow, rigid, and it kind of struggled to deliver the high energy cinematic space battles that we all wanted. In GM 4,
so how Starfinder 1E combat worked for it? It was played on a grid, like not a grid system, but a hex system, and it was a lot like the Star Wars. Like the movement was a lot like the Star Wars ship game that's out there. I can't remember what the X-Wing I think it's called. And it was a bit difficult because one player was the pilot. You had like different ways you could be. From what I remember, at least it's been years, and I never played that much of that. But yeah, it was a bit difficult.
Paizo doesn't just patch it; they
hello.
reimagine it.
Is the boy?
We're watching Starfinder stuff. We're watching Pathfinder Starfinder stuff. If you want to join in.
These rules emphasize collaborative, fast-paced action where players describe wild maneuvers, reroute power with sparks flying, and pull off desperate games.
How y'all be doing?
Cinematic starship
Doing
combat
fine.
is presented by
Currently,
a starship encounter has its own stat block with victory conditions, objectives, AC, shields,
maybe almost an hour and 30
strikes,
minutes into the
skills,
stream,
and threat routines to make controlling the enemies easy for the game master. It should make rolling through a starship encounter feel much more
myself, I
fluid
was just
and an
finishing up
extension
some
of the
stuff
rules
on
that players already
Fortnite.
know, rather than an entirely new system that feels like a different
I got
game
Red
entirely.
Palpatine
But I
now.
know there are folks out there who love that more complex tactical take on starship combat, and Paizo isn't leaving you behind. We will have those more complex starship and tactical space combat rules coming soon. But now this book is going to be essential for folks who do want to homebrew your own campaigns. You've got guidance
on the
not just for
Starfighter,
encounter
on the
balance,
ship
but
rules.
for building entirely new worlds, settlements, factions, items, and hazards. Want to make a time-traveling biochemical god and
is he a little
city
cross-eyed?
Yeah, I was noticing that. He is a little cross-eyed when he's looking at the prompt.
It's one of the things that you can't look away from for some reason.
Yeah, because he keeps turning his head like he's looking directly out of one eye, then swaps to the other eye.
If I had to guess, he's got a teleprompter he's looking into, and when he locks eyes on it, he goes a little cross-eyed.
It just makes me think of like those predators that has a blind spot right in front of their nose, so they have to turn their head to look like a bird.
Yeah.
Getting a little Pathfinder in your Starfinder and vice versa.
Stop looking at me like I'm prey. Just tell us the
Pathfinder games
news.
as well. If you want to use classes, background spells, items, monsters, and more between your two games,
I was trying not to say anything about it because I don't want to make fun of the guy.
It'll let you know about any adjustments.
I was gonna until Chansey beat me
Come on, I know
to
you
it.
want to see what happens if you drop a couple of plasma rifles into your Kingmaker.
Ooh,
now,
plasma
I'm
rifle.
going to tease you just a little bit. Alien Core is still several months away, but I managed to do a little bit of charming.
Look at that
persuasion and
guy.
get you an
Doom music
exclusive preview
playing.
of a couple of aliens coming to your table later this year. First, allow me to introduce you to the Turgator. These enormous earth elementals augment their bodies with materials
It's like an
harvested from the
asteroid guy.
where they live.
Oh, it's literally like a rock elemental made out of an asteroid.
With their devastating meteoric death drop.
It's the fucking rock monster from Star.
It has an ability called Meteoric Death Drop.
So wait, is this a playable race or is this?
I don't think it's playable. I think it's just a monster.
Here are called
Space whale.
They are starship-sized space whales that sing a haunting
Look at
telepathic star song as they travel.
I am looking at it. That will be a
ever
whale.
watched Star Trek, you know nothing bad ever comes from having whales in space.
Oh.
They've been studied extensively with some
Oh, there's little
Enterprise
starships
engineers
down
even
there.
turning them into living starships. Much about them still remains a mystery.
Yeah.
And for those of you who love their living weapons, we have the Argseth. These living cannons are powerful warriors in the eternal battle between heaven and the humans.
You got the little face up there.
Travel the cosmos and have been known to offer their assistance to pure-hearted mortals.
Yeah.
They're able to transform themselves into powerful armaments to be wielded in battles against corruption and evil across the galaxy.
Transformers.
Starfinder Alien
Pretty
Core
much.
brings you over 200 weird and wild alien creatures, from glitching gremlins to psychic spiderfolk to brand new space dragons themed to the four magical traditions.
I can't wait
This
for the
is your
space dragons. I
Monster
really
Core
want to see what they
Starfinder
do with
Edition,
those.
packed with allies and enemies
Can't
across
wait till they
every
actually
level,
implement
plus
goblins.
Yeah, I was saying that before you came in. There one of these books, I can't remember if it's Alien Core, GM Core, or Player Core. I'm gonna guess Player Core or GM Core. One of them has is gonna have options for playing the Pathfinder Core ancestries and stuff. So I know Goblin and Gnome are both core ancestries in Pathfinder. So there's going to be options for them. Plus, space goblins are a thing in Starfinder. So.
Into your Kingmaker campaign, you may as well give them a few nanite-infused Ogolthus or laser wolves just to balance things out. Finally, when I'm getting ready to GM a new campaign, I like to immerse myself into both the lore and the genre of the adventure I'm about to run. A great way to do that for Starfinder is the brand new Starfinder novel by Hugo Award-winning.
Yeah, I can't wait for that novel. I'm really excited for the novel.
Tim Pratt. Era of the Eclipse. It is the perfect entry point to the Starfinder universe, especially if you've ever been intrigued by the biggest mystery in the Gap.
Goblins in Pathfinder are adorably ugly.
First, you've got Tercel.
I love them.
An android who wakes up on Absalom Station the day after the Gap.
That's
no
fine.
memory, trying to piece together their identity in a galaxy that is.
They're very Gremlin-esque.
Then in the present, you've got two newbie Starfinders you may be familiar with. Day, your iconic Solarian, and one of my personal favorites, Chick Chick, the iconic mystic who stumble into a secret that ties you directly to Tosel's forgotten past. And we also have one of my other favorite Starfinder characters, the undead celebrity Zoe.
Oh, hi, Zoe.
Plus, you got power grabs by
this pose. Day is the iconic Solarian, by the way.
I see. Yeah, I remember them from the book.
Also, just Zoe.
The early Hell Knights, and a gift from Eureka, the goddess of knowledge, that might just hold the truth about what caused the gap in the first place. It is hopeful, it is dangerous, it's got stakes, and it is setting the tone for Starfinder 2nd Edition. I just got my hands on an early copy, and I'm reading through it now, but
I really want to read that book.
So if you are a lore nerd like me, add it to your wish list. And if you're jumping into Starfinder for the first time, or you just want to get up close and personal with one of the biggest events of Starfinder lore, check out Era of the Eclipse at all your favorite bookstores very soon here. I don't know about you, but 2E is what I've been waiting for to dive back into Starfinder. My bandwidth is limited in this old noggin, so trying to bounce back and forth between different rule systems was a big challenge for me. But now that we are under one big 2E umbrella, I am stoked to dock at Absalom Station and reacquaint myself with my favorite sci-fi RPG setting.
Yes.
Thank you for watching today. For now, though,
especially since I didn't like the rules of 1E.
And I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.
Our history is one of blood. We were driven to the surface before the thirst.
How this isn't giving copyrighted?
Sky, harried by violence and driven by a desperation to
someone
survive.
Say something?
We turned to warfare to make a home and a name for ourselves. We have always had more enemies than allies.
Yes,
we learned
orcs.
to distrust our neighbors. We became prey to subjugators. The orcs became known as brutes and beasts, but we have always been so much more. Now is the time to prove it. We can show the world that we aren't the monsters of their stories, but a people with a vibrant culture, worthy of praise and preservation. I, Ardax the Whitehair, invite you, people of Galarian, to Torrentmoot, taking place during the annual Flood Truce of Belxin. You will see the beauty of the floodwaters that bring life to our lands. Celebrate.
I'm interested in this adventure.
Us. Learn of Belxin and the ways of the orcs, a way of strength and prosperity. That is, if you can handle it.
Yes. Real cool adventure, Triumph of the Tusks. Oh, the Triumph of the Tusk, yeah.
Hello and welcome to my little corner of Paizocon here. I am Theo.
I've been meaning to make an orc character.
Yeah.
Whether you are looking for a full campaign or a shorter adventure, whether you want to play a ragtag group of
Shades of Blood is the vampire adventure.
Story,
it's vampire themed. You're not vampires yourselves, but it's like you're fighting vampires and stuff.
Even a group of morally ambiguous spies.
And at Werebad right there.
I have you covered today. We are going to be talking about Claws of the Tyrant and the Shades of Blood adventure path. Let's start with Claws of the Tyrant. This is an anthology of 3 connected adventures told from 3 different perspectives. So your players will need to create new characters for each adventure. But it'll allow you to tell one unique and epic story, starting at level 1 and ending at level 20 in a fraction of the time it normally would. The adventure center around the disgraced Grave Knight Zeldeg Deadless, and a ritual that he plans to conduct to rewrite divine history. So here is your background story. Erasni was once a mortal hero who became an angel and later the herald of the god Eridan.
Erasni's pretty cool.
Crusade, the Knights of Ozum
That's her.
forcibly bound her to lead them against the Lich Tar-Baphon, also known as the Whispering Tyrant. She was slain by the tyrant and later stolen from her tomb by corrupted knights led by Zeldeg Deadless.
If there's anyone in the Pathfinder setting that deserves to be as pissed as she is, it's Erasni.
Under Geb's control for centuries. In 4719 AR, Erasni engineered her
There's a
own
reason
destruction,
she's the god of
using
the
Tar-Baphon for a
abused.
fire, freeing her soul and allowing her to finally ascend to godhood. Erasni's tragic story is closely tied to that of Iomedae. Iomedae was also once a mortal knight of Ozum who fought alongside Erasni during the Shining Crusade, and Iomedae rose to divine status by passing the test of the Starstone and ultimately replaced Erasni as Eridan's herald after her death. Many mortals ended up forgetting Erasni's sacrifice and suffering, instead uplifting Iomade as the exemplar of righteous crusading. Now, in Claws of the Tyrant here, the Grave Knight Seldig Bedless seeks to rewrite this history. By using artifacts known as Bloodstones of Erasni and one called the Chalice of Ozum, which is tied to Iomade, he plans to swap their fates, casting Iomade down and elevating Erasni to the place he believed she always deserved, of course, with him at her side. His twisted ritual here threatens the balance of divine order and could unravel both goddesses' legacies. If you want to dive deeply into these older stories, you can check out a number of old Pathfinder adventures, but Tyrant's Grasp and Wrath of the Righteous hit most of the high points.
Yeah, I'm very interested in Claws of the Tyrant. It sounds pretty cool.
But I digress. Claws of the Tyrant here has 3 different adventures. At level 1 to 3,
it's definitely a different adventure like setup too, because like you're gonna have like
Graveland Survivors follows a group of first-level characters
Yeah.
who have been hiding in the crypts beneath the ruined town of U.S. Hope. Along with the handful of NPC survivors, they've eked out a miserable existence sustained only
We
by
might do that if we run out of Starfinder stuff.
But when their hiding place is finally discovered by undead forces, the PCs are
If you
forced
guys
to
are
leave,
interested,
escorting
I don't
the
know if we
survivors
will or
and
not.
transporting a sacred relic, a bloodstone of Erasni, to safety.
Oh, if it's gonna be ye old times again.
Yeah.
Toward the city of Voluminous.
Yeah, he's definitely
They'll deal with
could
hostile terrain, scarce
remake a
resources,
character.
and a dangerous pursuer
Yeah.
hunting the bloodstone. This adventure is heavy on the roleplay and has a very survival horror vibe to it. There are some very tough.
You like survival horror, right?
For the vulnerable community that they're responsible for leading to safety. If your group is a fan of shows like The Last of Us, Station 11, or the good seasons of The Walking Dead, I think they'll enjoy this one a lot. Next up, we have Ashes for Ozum, which sees the players at level 7 and 8. Now we get to flip the script, as your players will be making new characters, new evil characters. They'll be
you also get to play the bad guys.
The big bad Grave Knight Seldig Bedless himself.
I see.
They'll be tasked with infiltrating
First adventure is the good guys, like low-level good guys. Second level is like mid-level bad guys, and then I think the last one is going back to the good guys.
Once wielded by Iomade herself, and now essential to Seldig's ritual to rewrite history and elevate Erasni over Iomade. If your group has played Wrath of the Righteous, they will probably be familiar with the Chalice of Ozum. So the PCs must bypass or manipulate and
It's a very interesting setup.
Navigate complex moral ground and retrieve the chalice.
You know what would be a cool thing?
But
unlike your typical heroic quest, this adventure invites players to
a vampire with like vampire hunters as their guards or something.
Yeah. I'm not sure how that would work.
Like a vampire, like being able to command like a legion of vampire hunters to hunt other vampires, become more powerful and whatnot.
Yeah.
We so rarely get to play characters.
Did you know you can play a vampire character?
To break out of your goody two shoes comfort zone and let loose.
At like level 2, you can become a vampire.
Of blood and faith, which will take your characters from levels 8.
Yeah, they become acolytes. Actually, that would be a cool thing.
The heroes, now powerful champions of Last Wall or another cause, are summoned to counter the final gambit of Seldig Bedless as he tries to rewrite history. He has gathered the Bloodstones of Erasni and the Chalice of Ozum, and he's preparing the ritual that will strike Iomade.
The power of piss.
No, it's the power of gay, obviously.
To stop him,
no, the joke being, just a second. Her, the iconic cleric and the iconic rogue who is behind him, they're wives. They marry each other. And there is an image of them holding hands while like a rainbow light is shooting at an undead, melting it.
Nice.
And also the rogue is also throwing a knife, but yeah.
And elevate Erasni to her place in the hearts and minds of mortals.
Let me
to stop him, the party must travel deep into the ruined fortress of Hammerrock, navigating through deadly undead strongholds and divine wards and ancient battlefields corrupted by time. But this is not just a battle of blades and spells. It is a moral confrontation.
Let me
the players will be
show you
forced
this
to
in
reckon
the
with Erasni's legacy. Was she a tragic murder who deserved restoration? or a tyrant in her own right,
Here.
or something more complex.
In the
they may
chat.
encounter beings who sympathize with Seldig's vision and question the righteousness
The Discord
of the
chat, I
enemy's
mean.
rise. Seldig sees Erasni as a victim in need of salvation, as well as a tool to get redemption of his own. Like all the best villains, he is a hero of his own story. Erasni has a very complex legacy, so all these different views of her can be righteously justified. She has been a hero, a tyrant, and a powerful deity. The heroes will face the temptation to use or destroy these powerful artifacts, knowing that their actions may reshape the divine balance or erase aspects of history entirely. At the heart of the adventure lies a central dilemma. Is it right to rewrite the past for what seems like justice? Or is the price of tampering with faith and memory too high, no matter what the cause? The choices players can make here determine the future of not just two deities, but the entire moral structure of the world. When you play level 20 characters,
I'm not sure I
you want
could
the
do
stakes
it.
to be world changing, even universe changing, and this adventure delivers that.
Like, what happened to Erasni is fucked up, but I'm not sure I can do it.
Avengers Endgame kind of epic battle. Finally, you get the Adventure Toolbox, which is packed with custom feats and undead monsters and magic items and more that you can use here and in other adventures. And each adventure is standalone friendly. Claws of the Tyrant mines the deep lore of Pathfinder to give you an epic story unlike any your players have probably ever played before. It is available now from an MSRP of $44.99 for the hardcover and $19.99 for the PDF. Next up, we have the Shades of Blood Adventure Path, which is a follow-up to one of my favorite Pathfinder First Edition adventure paths, The Ruins of Aslant, which to me had major Lost vibes. You landed on an island intended to be the second wave of settlers, but when you got there, everyone in the initial colony had vanished, Roanoke style, and you had to solve that mystery. Here, you're going to be returning to that same recovering colony that you and your group may have helped found initially in that first adventure.
Oh, okay. Claws of the Tyrant doesn't have Foundry support yet, as far as I know.
Fallen Aslanti Empire. Now, aside from some Easter eggs and the setting itself, this is an
Look at that fish guy back there.
Not a direct continuation of Bounty, and it was built atop the ancient ruins of a fallen Aslanti Empire. Now, aside
looks
kind
of like Jar Jar. Yeah, he looks kind of like Jar Jar.
Right. Chompers going on.
Yeah, he's got the little Shrek antennas. There's another one over there. I'm pretty sure you can. I'm pretty sure you can play these guys.
This is an entirely new
Oh,
adventure
doggy.
and not a direct continuation of that.
Can I play as a dog?
The story here
yes.
kicks off with a mysterious column of shadow erupting from a
and I don't mean a dog man.
No, well, you can play. You can play as a dog man, and you can play as an intelligent dog.
Wow.
From there, players will be pulled into a spiral.
Awakened animal is an ancestry.
Vampire cults and cosmic horror. Beneath the surface lies that forgotten.
Wow, look at those guys.
Oh my god, it's me and the boys at 2 a.m. looking for beans.
It is.
Once again. The big bad is a reborn
You're off the hell.
Nizka Irakol, who's hell-bent on blotting out the sun so their kind can thrive in the open world. But it's not just a mustache-twirly villain here. Nizka's motivations are complex and entangled with lost love and lost
You can also be a beast person, Bear. For all it matters, if you're awakened animal, you could just be a bear.
So let's go over the basics here. This adventure is very much a gothic fantasy style adventure with a little bit of sci-fi tossed in this flavor. It strikes me as Blade meets Tomb Raider with the ambiance of Dark Souls. If you have a group that really loves the lore of Pathfinder and the Aslanti,
Shades of Blood also interest me.
This is a combat-heavy adventure as well. I've heard it referred to as a mega dungeon inside.
Too bad I couldn't play my vampire character in that, because I do have a vampire character that I played for Pathfinder before.
It is moody, it's got a blood-soaked gothic
Bear, then, if you want an Anthro Bear, in, Starfinder, look up, Uplifted Bear. Essentially, one of the races from Starfinder 1E was a, bear that someone had, made intelligent, and through genetic manipulation, gave them thumbs, and also gave them psychic powers so they can talk psychically. They still can't talk normally, so you're just making bear noises. Yeah. Let me find that real quick.
A bunch of realistic bear noises.
Yeah, see the bear.
It's a fucking bear.
It is a bear. And that was just a thing you could play. And look at that bear.
Wait a minute. That's not Gordon Freeman.
Yeah, they were just dudes you could play. There's a Bear Brutaris player, which is kind of like Blitzball, I think. There's this bear. Yeah. It's like a combat basketball, not basketball, combat sport thing. I believe you have a reusable. I think Copper has a reusable shell for a grenade that looks like a Brutaris ball.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where you literally have to
You should use that more.
which is something we honestly don't do very much in RPGs.
Yeah, I definitely should.
You'll eventually find yourself in a fake village that is designed to trick its 75 inhabitants into sacrificing themselves. You're going to have to find a way to save these people, who are teenagers, by the way, and who don't even know that they need saving. It becomes
what the
more
fuck?
Of a sandbox adventure at this point, where you're going to have to do a lot of research.
One sec. I'm just gonna look for some real quick. I'll be right back.
That's a weird setup for that.
Everything they know is a lie. It is a tall order. And beyond that, you'll encounter 3 vampire lords and their factions who are probably too strong to confront directly, so your party's going to be forced to find ways to play them against each other in political games. And there's going to be times when your party really just has to keep their head down to try not to draw too much attention to themselves. And all the time, you're going to be learning more and more about Niska's ultimate plan to blot out the sun, to prepare for that final confrontation in Book 3. So if you're looking for a dark gothic adventure with callbacks to a Pathfinder classic, with lots of action and a survival horror vibe, Shades of Blood is
I like that.
for you. The print
I'm a big fan of horror games, of horror adventures.
We'll have links to all these adventures down below.
As anyone who has played with me or like talked to me can attest, I like horror stuff.
And I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.
Okay, another ad. Hello.
I lost my pen.
It's not. Why did it?
Love Galarian's lore, but don't always have the bandwidth to prep a full campaign. Well, Quest is designed to teach
batteries for my
Hello.
But if we can adapt, the monsters can too.
Hi, Ankh. We're talking about. I'm watching the
and we can do it.
The Paizocon stream. Oh yeah, this. What?
And Dimelco is
What's up, Paizonos? Love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.
Just a second. Let me.
The new Super Mario Brothers
the
Super
year
Show
is 324 AG, and Dimelco is at war with itself.
Hey, I'm Theo.
The Colossi took everything from us.
They
raised our cities and trampled our world.
You might recognize this kind of setup.
Boiled, the ground quaked with their footsteps. Millions perished. The survivors fled underground to hide like the prey they were. Then we learned to fight back.
Mama,
we built war machines from the wreckage of our shattered past. We called them
That's Mama Luigi to you.
The brave souls who piloted them were the Huskars. They fought for a new home in this broken world at great cost. That was 200 years ago. Now we still defend New Valor against the Colossi that would destroy it. Some say we're winning.
Good Helldivers.
New allies from across the galaxy.
Power
Rangers.
This does sound like a Helldivers.
No, it's not. It's not Helldivers.
I know, but
it
sounds like a Helldivers.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do it again.
My
name's Commander Vadian Wayno. Call sign Raptor. I've been fighting this war for a long
This is
time.
giving me Goku
But
Power
I can't do
Rangers.
it alone.
Pretty much.
That's why the new
It's
Valor
very
Defense
much
Force
a
needs you to
Pacific
suit up
Rim
and
type
fight back
adventure.
against the Colossi.
Actually,
I
in the
won't
original
lie to you.
Japanese, they
They're
are known
bigger,
as the
faster,
Go
and sometimes
Ra-
I even wonder if they're smarter than
Go
us.
Raiders.
But with
The
your
Go
help, we can
Divers.
beat them and take our planet back for good. Think you have what it takes to be a Huskar? Join
Chuckles.
me.
Yeah.
Together we can take thy Malco
No,
back
the
from
flashbacks.
the monsters.
That's just
For
Beast
us,
Boy.
It's the rebirth of our home world. For them, it's Mecha
Collectively agree that Beast Boy is in fact
Yeah,
the Goblin.
that's the name of the adventure, Mechageddon.
Mechageddon. I dig it.
Yeah. It's
This
the
was-
last adventure for Starfinder 1E.
This is like
Hey, I'm Theo,
1960s
the
kind of
Goblin, and today
video.
we are talking about Pathfinder NPC Core, one of the most deceptively powerful tools in your
Well, I mean,
GM
yeah,
arsenal.
one of
Now, I
the
know what you might be thinking.
creatures that they were fighting that looked like Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like
Is so much more.
Tyranid Space
The book is a
Godzilla.
toolbox,
Pretty
a world
much.
builder, and a narrative engine that empowers you to populate your world with vibrant, flavorful.
Eventually we'll get
organically
mechs for
sound characters
2E,
without
but
getting bogged
not
down
for a
by
while.
Let's dive into why NPC Core deserves a spot on your shelf. At its core, NPC Core is part of Pathfinder's Remaster project and follows the philosophy of modular world building. It features over 250 stat blocks spread across dozens of thematic roles: artisans, mystics, mercenaries, courtiers, seafarers,
I need to look at the schedule again for what they were doing, so I can see what
So if your players
I
wander into
might
a
want to
Cold War
watch
Warren,
before the
or a
end of the
Leshy
stream.
commune, you are covered
Please
with
tell me he's
flavorful and
another grenade
mechanically unique
launcher.
creatures that feel like they belong.
Oh, look at that guy.
The real brilliance here is that this book doesn't just provide
Wait.
NPCs. It or a Leshy
Two
commune,
cute
you are
dudes. Little kobold and a bramble leshy, whose head is just a bush with 2 flowers on it.
with flavorful and mechanically unique creatures that feel like they belong. But the real brilliance here is that this book doesn't just provide NPCs, it teaches you how to use them. Every entry is more than a stat block. You get context, social function, potential quests, and guidance for how that character type might fit into your story. The included adjustments for level, ancestry, and combat style make every entry flexible. If you love a particular engineer NPC but need them to be level 11 and an orc, there is guidance for that. No math degree or deep dive into GM core necessary. There are even troop rules. Want to represent a squad of palace guards or a goblin warband or a gang of scrappy sewer urchins as a single
I
tactical
need
unit
to-
to make it simple for yourself? NPC Core has you covered there too. So what makes this book special, especially for longtime Pathfinder GMs who already know how to slap together an NPC? First, it is about storytelling with structure. Each NPC is designed not only with game mechanics in mind, but also with narrative hooks built in. Sidebars offer adventure seeds, social dynamics, and even advice on running NPCs in different campaign tools.
How long does this
Let's say your
go
players
on
wander
for?
into a fancy noble court. Instead of just pulling out some boring diplomat level 5, you can flip to the
Okay, so like
now you've got a courtesan with a cunning wit
another
and a social aura that penalizes will
while
saves.
of him talking about stuff.
And an advisor who's
There's a
basically
short break,
bard
and then it
with
gets
mind-reading powers and a
to
whip. Each one
the
is
next
already
presentation they
telling a story
have.
before you even get started. And then at the end of the courtier section, you get information on noble titles and symbols and emblems, plus the intricate communication system that fashionistas use with just a fan. It is a thieves'
That's interesting.
And second, it is the specialist level system that makes this book
Yeah.
special. Some characters, like a merchant or a guild master,
They have
may
a
only be
they have a
level 1 in
module for this
combat,
for
but in the
Path
social, political,
like
or
for
crafting
Foundry.
scene, they are
It
functionally
costs a
level 5
lot,
or
so I
higher.
haven't gotten
Helps
it
a
yet,
GM
but
run
it's very
social encounters
interesting.
with real stakes without having to fudge dice or
Yeah.
inflate stats in weird ways.
I
Third,
hope they do
NPC
one
Core
for
is
Starfinder.
modular
It would be
in a
very
way we
good if
haven't
they did
seen in
one for
previous
Starfinder.
series. You get ancestry adjustments to reskin human NPCs into elves.
That way we have like a ton of
goblins, or whatever you
NPCs I
want,
can just slot
without
into
breaking
stuff.
the game balance. Each ancestry comes with a thematic adjustment package. Changes to
The
traits,
goblin?
languages,
Goblin chef.
Yeah. Look at that guy.
The
Cat.
Thrompin.
The leaping thief. It's just a cat.
gear, even special abilities.
So many meals.
You can even
Oh,
switch
look
out
at the rat.
skill lists by theme
Rat.
Okay.
Bone Mother.
Yeah, Bone Mother Rat, also Kobold Egg Guardian.
appendix. You want your healer to lean primal.
His eyes are in front of his skull like a snake.
Sorcerer who throws out
Yeah, the Pathfinder kobolds are very skink-like.
The book itself doesn't just give you single NPCs; it also
They're
gives you
lizards, not
organizations.
dragon
Flip to the
things.
appendix,
Yeah.
you'll find guilds, conspiracies, and cults.
So they are they are draconic like
and the relationships
themed, but they follow a lot of creatures of power.
It introduces simple but flexible mechanics for tracking.
They're like the in between of
rivalry.
Yeah, I like the details of this cover.
It introduces simple.
You've got like the king up here, I assume, and then you've got like the vizier lady, little scribe over here.
But flexible mechanics for tracking.
The jester down there, like right there.
Trust or rivalry or mentorship or romance.
His here, his there, his everywhere, really.
Story hooks or even mechanical boons.
And then this goblin down here, the goblin chef.
Yeah.
Turning one-off characters into
make you a meal. Is that a glass blower?
Yes.
You just registered like, wait a second.
Yeah, it seems like a bunch of worker folk, like a bunch of like working class people were like revolting or something like that to attack the king.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's why there's like all those knights and stuff.
Hot glass on people.
Yeah.
For preppers like me, this is your menu. You can browse categories like engineer, criminal, or performer to preload a city with relevant characters. Pick a half dozen, adjust their ancestries, and you build a political thriller or a city mystery without ever having to open GM.
It's a very useful thing. I really need to get that. Hi, Wesley Crew. How you doing?
Experts. Your players
We're watching Paizocon.
You can even plan entire quests using NPCs.
Currently, it's like previews of the various stuff. Aw, cat.
And you're good to go.
Hello,
For
cat.
improvisers, this book is your improv crutch. Your players go off the rails and suddenly want to negotiate with the cartographer. There's a stat.
Is it an actual cat or a person?
Into a monastery and interrogate the seer.
That's a man. That's a woman.
No, I'm talking to Wesley Crew in chat.
Mavericks, performers. You've got options for every vibe. It's Pathfinder 2nd Edition, so the structure of the stat blocks is clean and fast to parse. You get thematic abilities like these.
So are your party members a furry?
A free action burst of effort when working under supervision.
Always.
Action.
Always a party member that's a furry.
To boost their allies. Cutting remarks. A courtesan's ability to demoralize with sass. An ability
demoralize with sass.
Personality mechanics. They're impactful while also reinforcing who the NPCs are in the world. And like I said, it is modular. You want that courtier to be a Tengu? Flip to the ancestry adjustments, plug it in, and you're done. Need that dot worker to be elite? There's a role for that as well. Want the villain to have a completely different spell list? Use those themed spell lists. Arcane Necromancer, Primal Healer, Occult Trickster, whatever you want. And let's not forget the troop rules. These are great for scaling encounters without turning the map into a tactical and logistical nightmare. We have all been there. Troop functions sort of like swarms. They are treated as a single creature on the initiative tracker, but represent a mass of individuals working
that's an old cat.
Like a squad of soldiers or a gang of cultists.
That's a 13-year-old cat.
They occupy a footprint similar to a gargantuan creature.
I hope that kitty has a good time.
That shrink as the troop takes damage, making their visual presence on the battlefield dynamic. Instead of individual strikes, troops use special actions that affect areas around them, representing coordinated attacks like shield walls or.
Is that just an angry mob?
They're immune to effects that target individuals, like single target spells.
They look like they're out of a Shrek movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, if you want your players to take on a rebel militia or a pack of Knoll skirmishers or a phalanx of palace guards without tracking 16 initiative rolls and hit point pools, troops let you do that cinematically and cleanly. This book is for every Pathfinder GM who wants to bring the world to life between monster fights. If you're like me and you've ever said, my players love talking to NPCs more than they do dungeon crawling, this is going to be your book. It's also for players who want to understand the world around them better. If you run a downtime-heavy campaign, a political drama, or anything sandboxy, NPC Core will make your life infinitely easier. You'll have a fully statted world.
Well, I'm sure your cat is very cute. Ah, rats. Rats versus kobolds.
Goblin lawyers and a kobold egg guardian. Oh, did I mention? My partner Grady wrote the kobold section because of course he did. You get some great stuff.
I was gonna say like
section about kobolds.
That can't be a racial slur against dwarves, is it?
What? What?
Calling the dwarves rats?
No, it was a rat folk. There's a rat folk
So your
there.
players ignore the plot hook and go
A
investigate the
Yosoki.
local union or follow a suspicious advisor. NPC Core again is your safety net. It'll make you look like you planned everything out. So NPC Core isn't just
I should really get that book.
It is a sandbox.
It'd help a lot. Of course, I've never made my own adventure except for like maybe once. I should really try to do that more.
Whether
I
you're
don't
running
know.
an epic war campaign or a slice of life mystery in a bustling city, this book will give you depth without homework and flavor without sacrificing balance. So if you haven't picked it up yet, do yourself a favor, build your world with NPC Core, and never have your players meet a generic guard named Carl again. NPC Core is available.
But what if we love a generic guard named Carl?
And $19.99 for the PDF.
Jarl the
Special
Carl.
edition bound in faux
Yes.
leather with metallic deboss cover elements and a bound in ribbon bookmark is coming in at $89.99. There's also a softcover pocket edition for $29.99, and you can pick up a pawn box with more than 350 cardboard pawns for $65. And later this year, you can get a set of 350 plus battle cards for $54.99. However you want to play, Paizo has you covered. If you've used NPC Core to create some unique characters, I would love to hear about it in the comment section down below. But for now, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time with a Gallant Goblin.
I was born in the town of Sandpoint. I grew up there, but my memories are anything but happy. You made my life a living hell. But when I struck back against you, I was called a monster and paid for my sins with my life. Fools. I was far from the last to threaten the townsfolk of Sandpoint. Far from the worst of the fates now waiting to strike your town. 7 new dooms wait on your doorstep. And to stop them, your town will need a new band of heroes to save you. Heroes who must be able to solve sinister crimes and untangle frightening mysteries. And who know when the time is right to seek solutions other than battle. And who know that not every monster is an enemy. Heroes who will be able to stand against the supernatural cause of your night horrors. Or that can stand against even the strangest and most frightening of foes. But I have my doubts. There are revelations awaiting you that I suspect you might not be able to endure. And when you fail, your town will burn. And you will all, at long last, become burnt offering.
So yeah, that's the adventure of 7 Dooms for Sandpoint. I might be running that for my Pathfinder group eventually. Sandpoint's like the first town that was ever introduced in Pathfinder. Yeah. And now this is like possibly the wrap up for it. I don't know.
Just over a century ago.
Oh, it's so that big Jersey Devil looking motherfucker right there.
Yeah.
That's the Sandpoint Devil.
Oh.
Yeah. What's the next one? Oh, okay.
The mortal people in power and adventurers are all scream, but this
I went a little too far. A little too far.
Impressive Skywalker, because it's too many of them. What we're gonna do?
Hello! Welcome, everyone, to Paizocon. Here it is, the first live panel of the show. And here we are talking about Hellfire Crisis and Battlecry and all those sort of associated books and products that we can talk about. I'm Jason
Hellfire
Keeley,
Crisis.
designer, Pathfinder Rules and Lore team, and design lead for Battlecry. I'll let my
So this is gonna be all
Alice
Pathfinder
introduce
stuff,
himself.
unfortunately.
Hi, I'm Logan Bonner. I'm the
Not
Pathfinder lead
unfortunately,
designer.
but like,
I also worked on Battlecry.
just in case you were interested in Starfinder.
I'm Michelle. I am a let me try that again. I'm Michelle. I'm a developer on the narrative team, and I am working on a different part of the crisis on the adventure path.
Off the gun.
Exciting. Yes, we're going to talk all about that. This brand new meta event called the Hellfire Crisis, the first phase of which kicks off this summer at Gen Con with the release of Battlecry. As we go along, if you have any questions about this, pop them in the chat. Our mods will collect them, and we'll get to a Q&A session at the end here. So, what is the Hellfire Crisis, and what does it have to do with a big war? Of course, it all begins. It's all because Gorm died. It's always because at this point,
Yeah.
The Gorm's dead.
For context, when they say
kill one god.
For context, when they say that Gorm died, I've probably told you this before. I don't know if you've heard anything Pathfinder wise. Gorm was the god of war. And he fucking died.
Oh.
He was killed in combat.
He died honorably.
He died by a giant praying mantis.
He died honorably.
Which was another god, the assassin god named Chakek, who's a giant red mantis, god of the red mantis assassins. I think it's been explained why he died. There's an adventure that goes like you were there for when he dies because you're a red mantis assassin.
Was there too.
And which I really want to play that adventure eventually. But yeah, ever since Gorm died, a bunch of his god bits started raining down on Galarian, and started causing all kinds of trouble. And that entire thing was called the God's Reign. That's the meta event.
The Reign of Gods.
Yeah. Now they're starting to move into the next meta event, which is the Hellfire Crisis, which is spurred on by Gorham dying, because you'd think, what do you expect to happen whenever the God of War dies?
Someone tries to take his place.
Sure. Also, some people thought would think that War died, so maybe War doesn't isn't as bad anymore. War doesn't happen anymore. No, War just got a lot more unruly. War started breaking out all over the place.
You didn't get rid of the concept of war. You got rid of the referee.
The funny thing is, there's also a thing in the book where it mentions the first connecting tissue of Starfinder to Pathfinder, because whenever Gorham died, from his corpse, which he was like a giant armor suit, from his corpse, the Devourer shot off into space. Which the Devourer is a god that only appears in Starfinder. Which is the god of cosmic destruction. Which
he knows to get in the robot, but Shinji can't.
Yeah, so the Devourer is basically an amorphous force of entropy and destruction. Always shown as a big black hole with an eye in it. But yeah.
My mother-in-law.
I have a character that's a big black hole and eye in it. I mean,
Yeah.
technically, black hole is the eye, but
yeah.
Damn.
I could just look into those eyes forever.
looking.
I hope so. It's a singularity.
But yeah, so it's leading into the Hellfire Crisis, which is a big war between Andoran and Cheliax. Which I'm excited for, because if I get to play in those adventures, I can play Alazia, and she's from Cheliax. One of the reasons why she doesn't like the Chalice government is because her hometown, Brastelwark, which is a gnome enclave, is directly on the edge of Andoran, and is a front line if Andoran tries to invade. The Chelish government is basically using them as a like meat shield for it. So I think if that happens, Alazy is gonna have something to talk about, at least.
Kill one god and
everything is gored.
Something to worry about.
Goes off. But his death is scattered
because her parents are still there and her family.
Across Galarian, and people.
So far, I only have one Pathfinder 2 character that actually has a. Oh, hey, he's from here.
And whatnot.
Yeah.
Other than just OCs I've created,
including
haven't
the
really
likes,
given them a background.
Of her infernal magistrix, Abigail the Second. So she believes that there's a small insurgent group
from
in Isgir known as the Hellbreakers League, that they have one of those war shards, right? And so she doesn't think they should have it.
Bounty hunter.
She wants it for herself. She also believes they're hiding in a town called Breach Hill, which may be familiar to some people. It's near Citadel Alterain, which was a big part near sort of the very first Pathfinder 2 adventure path. And so she sent some Hell Knights from the Order of the Rack to go down there and root them out. In typical Hell Knight fashion, they just stomp all over the place. They institute martial law. They begin arresting and interrogating people, trying to find these Hellbreakers League insurgents wherever they might be and find their war shard, right?
Yeah, the first adventure, as they were saying, is called Hellbreakers, and you are a rebel group.
It gets bad, right?
So
for Super Galarian,
cry out for help
totally.
from other countries. And Andoran sends a group of diplomats led by the semi-retired Eagle Knight, General Reginald Cormoth. There he is.
General Reginald!
Unfortunately, he is kind of captured by the Hell Knights, accused of espionage and dissidence, and then publicly executed in the town of Breach Hill.
Too bad for him.
Michelle, what do the Hellbreakers League think about all this?
So the Hellbreakers League, spoiler alert, they may have been, in fact, if you read War of Immortals, looking for war shards after all, and they're not very happy with Cheliax stomping around when their whole goal is to react against Cheliax and try to get rid of this oppression on Isgir. So they're pretty ticked off, and they reach out to the Andorran forces that are also pretty upset that a beloved general of theirs just got murdered for without a really good cause. Let's be real.
Yeah. Like they say he was spying, but like those accusations do not hold any water in Andoran. They're like, our guy, he's dead. Oh no. They start pressuring the elected officials of Andoran, including the People's Council and Supreme-elect Indira Rusek. They're saying like, hey, Eagle Knights should go in there and kick those Hell Knights out. They're, and there's some political machinations here, some gray areas where the Supreme-elect is like, well, the Hell Knights are not technically Cheliax's army, so if we send the Eagle Knights, which are not technically our army, into Isgir, it won't technically be a war. It'll just be sort of a skirmish between two quote-unquote independent organizations, right? Well, she gets the approval of the People's Council. Of course, the people of Andoran are happy that this is going to happen, and they send those Eagle Knights in, and this sparks what is known as the Battle of Hell Knight Hill, where the Andoran Eagle Knight forces clash with Hell Knight forces. Hellbreakers League kind of steps in there and helps them out. And
I believe they're doing the Battle of Breach Hill at the con this year.
Basically, are sort of sent packing out.
I'm sad I won't be able to experience it.
A city sort of near the border of Isgir and Cheliax, right? Well, Abigail Thrune doesn't like that, right? You can see the Abigail Thrune did not like that. He's like, okay, all right, well, look, this is what we need to do now. All you Hell Knight orders, you are now officially Cheliax, working for me. And you're officially Cheliaxian. You have to. You're basically nationalized, right?
Oh.
Even those outside of Cheliax.
And people keep telling me the fucking Hell Knights aren't fascist because they aren't fighting for a nation. And then suddenly, Cheliax fucking nationalizes them.
Some of them don't agree with that.
They're
some
fucking fascists.
More neutral about it, and some of them, the people, the order that's in Varisia, for instance, like we don't have anything to do with Cheliax. What's going on here?
Jason, I'm starting to get the idea. There's a whole chain of people disliking things throughout this whole.
Well, some people, dislike. It's the whole thing. Luckily, the computer remembers. And so
like I know I'm might be sticking on this for a second. The amount of people that like whenever I talk about the Hell Knights being fascists, that immediately go to, oh, they may be like bad, but they're not fascist. They're good Hell Knights, yada yada yada. They're basically Sauron if Sauron was Judge Dredd. And sure, there's good Hell Knights. There's Hell Knights you can like or whatever. Doesn't matter. They're still part of an authoritarian fucking law above all else fucking Night Order and in Starfinder PMC that will enforce any law or any they Hell Knights basically believe in absolute order and law and use hell at the laws of hell as an example of absolute order.
There's an order. It's not good, but there's an order.
Yeah, and that's why that's why they're so favorable towards Cheliax. Supposedly they're not, quote unquote, they're not evil, but they're pretty fucking evil. They are obviously on the bad side.
So, but like people like the orders like the Order of the Rack, of course, yay, we love Cheliax, let's go fight officially for them. And then of course you got the goblins of the Chitterwood, who are sort of in between Cheliax and the Breach Hill area, right? They're getting nervous that there's going to be another war. I mean, they're right.
The goblins of Chitterwood.
They're just sort of they start thinking about what are we going to do? How are we going to keep some of the people out? What's this going to be to us? Both countries and Cheliax and Endurance, their navies start to prepare for aquatic skirmishes, and it's basically a powder keg waiting to explode. And that's the prelude to the Hellfire Crisis, right? This event is going to take place over the next year or so and feature a titanic.
How can you defend a group that literally follows the law of hell, Bear? People like being the bad guys. They like a cool villain. Say what you want, the Hell Knights are fucking cool as hell. They have a great aesthetic. They're who doesn't love being the big guy in spiky armor doing bad shit? But at the end of the day, you have to admit they're not good. They're not good people, and they are fascist as fuck. Which you got people in that have played Wrath of the Righteous and or Kingmaker and really like the Hell Knight characters from that. There's a book called Hell Knight, which Hell Knight I appreciate that book. The character in that, Jarrell, who's a tiefling Hell Knight of the Rack in Cheliax, is pretty good, despite Hell Knights being basically cops. I still really like that book. Jarrell is one of my favorite Hell Knights because while she is morally ambiguous, she is what I would say is a good Hell Knight, a quote unquote good Hell Knight, because she it's less the morals she has and more what she's fighting for and why she's doing it. One of the oh no, yeah, they are fascist as hell. But some people, some Hell Knights believe hey, if there were more laws, there would be a good thing. They're still a part of a fascist evil knight organization, even if they're good. Even if they're good.
Just because something isn't fascist doesn't mean they don't like laws.
Yeah.
Just it's just easier for fascists to use laws for their own gain.
There's a lot of people that really like the Hell Knight Gnome from Kingmaker. I think it was from Kingmaker. It might have been from Wrath of the Righteous. There's a lot of people that think he's pretty compelling, even though he's kind of a dick. But yeah, I don't know. I think about the Hell Knights a lot. I'm very into the lore side of Pathfinder. I'm not as great with the rules as I probably should be, but I'm really into the lore at least. As you can probably tell, I will talk your ear off about Pathfinder lore, and Starfinder lore.
Those two powerful nations of the inner
anyway.
Andoran and Cheliax, right? And who knows who else might join in on either side.
Actually, before I continue, Hell Knight, the book Hell Knight, also gave me an appreciation for it got me a little into Cheliax's lore from I really don't like Cheliax kind of standpoint. I already didn't, but I didn't realize for example, Cheliax, they really don't like tieflings. You think they would, but they don't. Before tieflings became Nephilim. But can you guess the reason why they don't like tieflings? Anyone?
Unlawful creatures.
Does they look like Hell Knights?
No.
Demons.
So there's a lot of different tieflings. Specifically, the reason why they don't like tieflings, and they often view tieflings as lesser or like a second-class citizen. They view it as so the national church of Cheliax is the Church of Asmodeus, because the ruling house, the Thrones, have a pact with Asmodeus. They don't worship devils, they see them as a tool. So if someone is a devil-born tiefling, they view them as, oh, someone fucked up. Like, someone fucked up and produced that thing. Like, someone got too close to their tool and, produced this creature. Which is real bad. Jarell in Hell Knight is a devil-born tiefling. So she's, viewed as lesser. But, it's kind of like she's working for this organization, but is also facing a lot of institutional racism and stuff like that. To the point, her daughter, who the book frames as her having given up her daughter because her daughter looked human. Her daughter is a tiefling but looks human. So she gave her up to an orphanage and still acts as a pen pal, just saying she's a friend. And I found that pretty compelling about Jarell. Jarell is one of my favorites. Pretty good book. There's another, the other two characters. There is a failing knight of Iomade, I think it is, the god of valor, who was
Yamade.
Yeah. And his girlfriend, who is a Thrune Diabolist. And how a paladin and a Diabolist get together, you can only guess. But their dynamic's pretty good. One of the things that always sticks in my mind is their nights together. I believe he describes his girlfriend as having a bit of the Nidalese in her, which probably means nothing to you guys, but Nidal is a country that is ruled by worshippers of Zon Kuthan, the god of pain. So what you can kind of take that as, because of the way they describe it, she's into some kinky shit. Like pain play and shit like that. They describe their nights together leaving bruises.
It's funny because in Wakfu they also have a goddess like that.
Yeah.
Although she's called the goddess Sacrier.
Yeah. Which yeah.
her worshippers of her people are typically like paladins who defend the weak by taking pain for them, and we suffer so others don't. No, it turns out she's just really, really kinky.
Yeah. Zon Kuthon's basically Pinhead from like Hellraiser.
We're gonna have Lost Omens books. We're gonna have society scenarios. We're gonna have
Yeah.
adventures.
Anyway,
all sorts of things.
Back to the stream. Sorry, I got stuck in a info dumping thing.
Kicks off.
It's fine.
It's been a good time, well, a good while since I've info dumped.
Participate in that fight.
Fine.
In a special
Yeah.
ticketed Gen Con event.
Also,
you're gonna take control of some of
just a thing. I'm thinking of making Fridays, maybe my TTRPG day, where I just start talking about TTRPGs and stuff.
Yeah.
Might make some like characters for Pathfinder, or like go over the characters, like maybe look at Starfinder a little bit.
Armed forces, so some of their troops.
We'll see how it
clash with
goes.
Town Knight Cavalry and besiege the nearby citadel in hopes of looting them out. These battles will take place in like 1 hour chunks. So if you're at the show and you have some time between meals or other scenarios you're playing, or stopping by the Paizo booth, go see if you can check it out. See if there's any tickets available. I don't know if they're all sold out, but you can even
turn on the air conditioner. It's a little hot in here.
We're gonna have cool terrain, special terrain for this. It's gonna look great. It's gonna basically be kind of like how we used to do delves at Paizocon, but a little more sort of.
I wish I could go to one of those. I've never been to a Paizocon. I don't get to go to much conventions, but I like going to conventions.
Might not make it. There's a lot of death in that kind of stuff.
I believe I think I've been to like maybe 3 or 4 conventions in my life within like the last handful of years.
This is a new source book for our war
maybe one year we can go to Adepticon
in general, right? If you checked out last year's playtest, you'll know.
Bear said Nadal is like the second worst place to live in Pathfinder. There's a lot of bad places to live.
Yeah, like
Geb, I mean, maybe. Depends on who you are. If you're undead, Geb's fine. Geb is like similar to Eox, but like a nation instead of a planet.
It's the place.
Well, Bear, the World Wound closed up in 2E, so it's not as bad now. There's still demons out there, and there's actually like aid coming in. They had a book about that recently. Anyway, it's the battle cry. Look at the big blue guy.
Here in this book. In this cover, I just love this cover. We got our 2 iconics on the front there, and just sort of Eagle Knights charging with them. They are ready to go towards a handful of helmets there, are ready to stand against them.
More.
But I'm gonna give you we're gonna give some previews about what's in this book right now. I think so.
I'm very interested in this. Commander is gonna be such a good class.
So you've probably seen, if you've checked out the playtest, you've seen some of the tactics that the commander can employ. But there's one that we added for the final book that I want to sort of highlight right now. It's an expert tactic, so you're not going to get this until like after 7th level.
As a commander, can you be
kind
an
of fun.
Elder Dragon
sort of
Highlander?
Maybe.
As I'm explaining this to you, remember that starting at first level, a commander can sort of give a reaction to one of their squad mates, so to use for the particular tactic. This tactic is called Alley Oop. I love that name. It basically allows your squad mates to sort of check things at each other. Like, oh, you need someone. You throw that potion to the person who needs
Oh, that's great.
As long as they're sort of like both within the commander's aura, they can just sort of chuck it as what do I see here? You chuck it as a free action, and the person who's chucked that can grab it as a reaction.
Beats them over the head with it.
That's such a good ability. I love that.
You can make someone the pack mule.
Yeah, I just like
going into a potion dispenser.
I do like that, just being able to throw items to each other.
And if they catch it, they can activate it if it's a consumable.
Oh.
So it's one action for the commander to say, "You throw this over there," and then a whole chain of events happens. It's exciting. And if it's a special type of ammunition, that takes like one or few actions to reload. The person who catches it can reload it into their weapon.
Oh, that's
so
great.
It's a cool way to share resources on the field of battle.
I want to play Commander
sort of
at some point.
Together. It's not sort of like obviously the most flashy one of like
the class
murder all those people or charge over there, but it is kind of definitely very useful and helpful.
Storming in.
I don't know if it would be Alesia. I don't think Alesia is the commander type.
And the Guardian battling some giants together side by side. Love that one. That's
so
big
the totally. Yeah, there's just clones of her all over the place. That's how she's everywhere.
Exactly.
Bear, I was about to say this. The big blue guy, he is a Jotunborn. He is the Bulwark class. The little orc is I think it might be an orc or I think it's an orc. Is the commander. The commander is a support martial class. They carry a flag, or like they could be on like a stick or like a spear or like on your backpack or shield. And when you have allies within like a certain radius of that flag that can see the flag, you can give out commands, and it does various stuff. Like, for example, they said alley oop, which is like a player or like an ally as a free action can throw an item to another person. And like the other person gets a reaction to grab it out of the air and immediately use it, which is a great ability in my opinion. They've got some higher level stuff where it's like, well, like lower level stuff would be like I think one called finish this or like attack or something like that, where everyone gets like a movement action, and then like if they end their fucking movement next to someone, they can immediately make a melee attack as a reaction. Or like ready aim fire, where like everyone within your range, like within like I think 30 to 60 feet, can immediately fire whatever ranged weapon they have and then immediately reload. It also works for mages because it like allows mages to also like cast a cantrip as a reaction. Yeah, it basically lets everyone within a certain range, mage, kineticist, or anything like that, immediately make a ranged attack as like a reaction. There's another one that's like retreat, where like everyone can take like a certain amount of moves as a reaction, stuff like that. It has a lot to do with reactions and like other stuff. I really like it. There's also like abilities like you twirl your flag around to like block incoming damage or stuff like that.
And since we're talking about a little bit about the Guardian, which
yes, it is very much the class where you wave your little flag.
There was
the flag is very important to that class. I think there's like
really excited that we tried
another ability in there where you get like a battle steed, so you like get a horse or something like that to ride around on.
To make this class as tanky as
while you're waving your flag.
We've boosted the hit points to 12 per level.
Possibly.
We've given it some resistance to the physical damage.
If they're a centaur, you can totally ride them.
Armor specialization. That's sort of just its own thing.
I could just be a small
medium or heavy armor, of course, right?
And ride them. Ride a medium creature.
Yeah, from what I remember, the bulwark is like, it's all about being a tank, like a battlefield control tank, where you have like DR, like damage resistance or something like that, just added on, and all this other stuff where you can like block incoming attacks to protect your friends and other stuff. There is an ability, I think, where you basically flex so hard your armor blows off of you and hurts people around you.
God damn.
Yeah, but it also like destroys your armor.
And so it's going to help them stay on their feet for as long as possible.
It's a hilarious ability.
There's of course, we tweaked all the feats. We tweaked a lot of sort of the way we tweaked the way taunt works. A lot of stuff. You're gonna love it.
As far as I know, Commander, because I've only seen the playtest version. Alley-oop didn't exist, for example. They've added abilities and like tweaked it for like via like user input. From what I remember, the Commander was pretty solid. The Bulwark had a lot of problems, and I hope they fix that.
I guarantee it. I sure hope I sure hope you love it. And you might notice that the Guardian is a big.
Oh yeah, it's called the Guardian, not the Bulwark.
Right? What's he's going on? This is a new
yeah.
ancestry in the book.
The Jotunborn.
We're calling them the Jotunborn. They come from a subplanar realm called the Fray that sits sort of just underneath the universe. They were placed there millennia ago by the gods as sort of ancestors of Titans to act as custodians to the sort of universe essentially. Jotunborn returned to Galarian to help clean up the big messes like Earthfall and the God's Reign, right? But thanks to the God's Reign, many Jotunborn can't kind of get back. They've come to Galarian to sort of clean some stuff up, maybe pick up a couple of these war shards and clean up the mess that's sort of left behind. But a lot of them can't get back, so we're going to be seeing a few more of them sort of in Galarian more frequently, right?
Yeah, pretty much they came from like just outside the universe. They just can't go home. Like they're stuck here now.
As you can see, they have this sort of cultural practice of weaving
so there's just big
threads into their skin that give off a faint light, and these little silk threads are from this planar beetle known as Ivlars, and that's sort of what they kind of look like, crab, and then crabs and horseshoe crabs almost, I would say, but they weave a kind of a fun kind of glow in the dark silk, and a lot of Jotunborn are trained to.
I know Lynn really wants to.
Like,
well, not really wants to, but he likes.
Keep them basically, as
he's wanted a big.
So the Jotunborn are very big. They're very strong,
giant
very tough,
ancestry.
But they're also kind of in tune with nature. They're kind of in tune with the universe, and I like to think of them as kind of just sort of like wanting to.
That being said, Lynn has been playing a Minotaur in our Rust Hinge game, and a lot of dungeons are not made for a large character. It's a bit annoying to have to traverse that.
Tucking people along, people around.
Especially in Foundry.
But also, they have some inherent big plane hopping abilities that give them a little bit of
with giant ancestry.
Here and there. So it's pretty cool stuff.
You're a normal-sized person.
Yeah. So like one of the problems with large ancestries, at least in like Pathfinder so far, with how small a lot of things are, because like they'll make like one space doorways and stuff like that. You end up with your token peeking through the walls and stuff.
So you can see things.
No, you can't see shit because your head's in the wall. So and it turns out if you like turn your token or like rotate your token, like one of the spaces on your token is like considered where your vision's coming from. So like a lot of the time Lynn's token was like upside down and like they were like having to move through these small ass corridors and stuff like that and couldn't see shit a lot of the time. It was not a great time, but I think on more open maps it's fine. Maybe in the future they'll like design things a little bit bigger.
That was written by Luis Loza.
But I doubt it, because like a lot of the world is not made for large characters.
In the future in there.
It is not a world for giants.
This book has also got archetypes.
Yeah.
It's got battle-focused options for existing classes like the Sorcerer and Thaumaturge.
And yeah, Bear, Minotaurs are large, are a large ancestry.
And I've talked.
Centaurs are large. I think awakened animal can be large.
Yes,
Minotaurs are large, and Jotunborn are large. Then in Starfinder, so far we have I think Dragonkin are large, and that's about it so far.
Enough. Logan, you worked on this book. What's one of your favorite things about it?
I think one of my favorite things in there are the new vehicles. There's a lot of kind of warfare-themed vehicles in there. I think most people kind of already know what vehicles are for GM Core, so I'm just going to do a whole bunch of name dropping so people can let their imaginations run wild instead of tell you how vehicles work. There's the Air Cycle and the Siege Dragon, which is designed to look like a dragon, kind of like one of our previous vehicles.
What?
There is a medical wagon, so it's
Oh,
not
did you see
just
me downloading that?
combat, like direct combat vehicles, but also some kind of support stuff in there. The Necro Roamer.
I had expected that to go to my a Necro Roamer. What?
We have an Ironclad and we have a Steam Turtle.
Steam Turtle.
You can see right there.
Steam Turtle.
You can imagine yourself, kind of tootling around in that.
Oh.
Out on the waves.
Oh, okay. So I see. It's
naval engagements a little more turtley.
a little more turtley. Yeah. So it's got the shell and stuff like that. It's got the little like rotor, like the paddle, and then like the thing up here, and then a bunch of cannons.
It's got that gangplank that sort of.
Oh, okay, that's a gangplank.
And just sort of explode into troops everywhere.
Neat. So it's an armored boat.
Yeah. Thank you,
that
Logan.
carries
Michelle,
troops.
you've probably had a peek at this book. What do you?
Hello.
What do you like about it? Tell me more about the book. What you like about the book I helped make.
Yes, I've taken a peek, and
Hi, G-Easy, how you
one
doing?
of my favorite archetypes from it, which would actually be great.
We're watching Paizocon right now.
Is the field propagandist. You're just so good at telling people what they gotta know and how they should know it, and coincidentally, that's gonna help me out. And they just have some really cool feats that are about
why though?
how
Why
you
this?
can persuade people to think in a certain way.
That needs to be a
and
meme
at one
format.
Point, they get so
Yeah.
good at
Just for reference, this is Valeros. Like on the paper, that's Valeros, the iconic fighter, and I don't know why that guy's saying he's a devil.
spitting tales that it's all the truth. It just depends on what angle you're looking at it, but it's all true.
Could be true.
It's just such a great archetype.
Oh, I guess it's a rumor mill kind of thing. I don't know.
I had fun with this piece of art where this guy's like, Valeros, look at him. He's clearly a devil. He's too strong. He must be a devil. For me, one of the things I really enjoyed that we added a couple new Jotunborn specific weapons, which are in a way sort of similar.
Okay, so this is some bone, I think, and then it's got like 3 human swords tied to it.
It's the sword.
One of them looks a little familiar. That is the sort of Jotunborn maul spade. It's good for digging and bashing people on the head, and looks.
It's a combat shovel.
Any Star Trek stuff.
You could play a giant shovel
and
knight.
the other one is kind of like a big rake.
You can be a Krieger.
It's called the Blade Sweeper. It's literally like 3 swords tied to a single hilt. It is just like. Taking advantage of the fact that Jotunborn are big and can just sort of wield big, ridiculous-looking weapons. If you like swords on your swords, we put swords on them. So it'll be good fun.
It does kind of look like a Jotunborn got like upsold to the deluxe package. It's like, oh well, you wanted 1 sword. What if you had 2 swords? Or may I interest you for the truly elite customer? 3 swords.
It's like razor technology, right? There's always like more blades the better, right?
Yeah.
Well, soon we're gonna come out with 4 or 5 blades and some sort of moisturizing strip on the edge of the hilt there. Ridiculous stuff. We're bringing we're doing some remasters of some stuff you may have seen from previous things, from some other weapons like which was called the battle lute. For instance,
the battle lute
for when you need to play some music instruments and bash people in the head with it, that kind of good stuff. But one of the big, huge things in this book is our skirmish encounter subsystem for showing off how we can do big, huge battles while sort of remaining within.
Oh
the
shit! It's a mechanical dragon coming
at
at
him. Logan, you worked a lot hard and long on this, so please
like
give
a
us
clockwork dragon
on skirmish encounters.
Okay, so skirmish encounters. You might have caught some of this if you watched the keynote, but for those of you who didn't catch that before, I'll give kind of the overview. So skirmish encounters let you do kind of a squad versus squad combat that still uses your Pathfinder character and all their abilities, but they get to lead a troop alongside them. So we decided rather than doing like a big, like kind of a separate game that is a mass combat system, we wanted to do something where you're still kind of playing your Pathfinder character, still running around on a battlefield, but you also get to kind of have your allies there with you and clash, against an enemy squad in a little skirmish fight. So it's kind of
was about
inspired
to
by
say
things
skirmish.
like Dynasty Warriors, where you're kind of mostly controlling one character, but you've got all this cool warfare going on around you, and you're cutting a bunch of people down. And
okay, have a good night, G-Easy.
We also have like a little bit of morale rules, kind of like a lot of war games do, where troops can get routed and run away from a skirmish. But if they're being commanded by a PC or an NPC commander, it's easier for them to stick around. We also kind of let you move around pretty freely. You're essentially considered to be in any square that your troop is in. So you can kind of hop over and attack one side and then the other and kind of be really dynamic in the battle. And if you have a little bit of extra time to prepare, you can train with your troop and get a skirmish bond with them that's going to let you do things like increase their discipline, or they can cast spells with you. If they're more of a spellcasty troop, they can do stealthy things with you, so that you can kind of tailor them to work with your character even better than they normally do. There are also a few extra kind of options you have. So, for example, though skirmish warfare is mostly meant to be squad versus squad, we have suggestions for the GM on how you might do, like, the PCs team up with their squads of troops to fight one big tough monster, to kind of do those kind of all versus one fights against a really dangerous foe. Yeah, that's kind of the basics of skirmish encounters, and there's a lot of support for it in this book.
Yeah, you can mix it up too, right, Logan? You can have one big dragon by itself, and then like here's a couple, if it's kobold armies or what have you, or undead armies, and then you've got your unarmed armies, each commanded by one different PC, just sort of smashing all the things together for a quite an epic sort of battle. But you gotta make sure you gotta have enough space on that battle mat. Because troops are gargantuan. The big things you want to fight up against are probably going to be just as big.
We also have some suggestions for if you don't have that much space on your table, to kind of do it at half scale, so that you can kind of move your troops around with a little more space to work with if you need to.
Yeah. And to sort of help with those encounters, Battlecry has over 20 pages of new troop stat blocks that you can sort of plug in sort of at lots of different levels, from 4 up to about like 18 or 19, I think. We've got choruses of angels and all the way to Zulgath Dinosaur Cavalry.
Dinosaur cavalry.
And there's some stuff in there that you might not.
Yeah, Zulgath are like pale underground lizards. So like, of course they have dinosaurs. They're from the Hollow Earth.
Also got some basic stuff like druid circles and monks, groups and whatnot, that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, when they redid
maybe we'll see this in act.
after the ORC changes with the remaster and everything, and when they were trying to get away from D&D more, the underground in Pathfinder made a lot of changes. Instead of being like Underdarkish, they started going more in the Hollow Earth direction, where there's like
so they went through more. They went for more classic D&D.
Yeah, where there's like a whole bunch of worlds down there. There's like dinosaur like dudes and like snake people. Since their drow drow technically don't exist anymore, stuff like that.
Action in the
they're snake people still, of course.
Michelle,
but
why don't you tell us something about what we're going to see there, as much as you can, of course.
Yes, so I can say that Hellbreakers is a low-level adventure for levels 1 through 9, and that it is coming out Q1 of next year. And this picture that we're seeing are the lovely founders of the Hellbreakers
I think
League,
we've
which
got
is a
another
rebel organization,
good while of this.
very grassroots, fighting to free Isger from Chelaxian rule. These are Phoebe and Alceo Demetrius. They are a married couple that met
good for them.
when Phoebe was protecting Alceo as a bodyguard from some Chelaxian bounty hunters, let's say, who really wanted his head because he was helping people escape Cheliax. So they met, they got married, and they decided, let's lead a rebellion together.
Yes, you do.
If any viewers know Mr. Miracle and Big Barda from DC Comics,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
who I was inspired by for them.
Oh.
But yeah, they are.
That's
trying to
pretty
lead
good. The taking from Big Barda and Mr. Miracle.
This rebellion.
I like
but
that.
they're a very small organization, and so they have to go small first, and it's hard because Isger is very entrenched in Chelaxian culture, and especially after the Goblin Blood Wars, the Church of Asmodeus. Do we say Asmodeus or Asmodeus?
Asmodeus.
I've mostly heard Asmodeus, but it's whatever your home group uses is the right pronunciation.
The Church of the Red Guy.
Big Red. We call him Big Red.
I just say Asmodeus.
Mr. Pentagrams. They sent over nuns from
yes, it could
the
be either or,
Sisterhood
but
of the Golden
Asmodeus is the
Hermes,
way I say it.
and so
Oh.
they have become well known for their charity and for opening up orphanages for
All right.
orphans after these Goblin Blood Wars. And look, they even take care of little goblins. They're just so tender-hearted and loving.
Yeah. They do it all for the love.
They do it all for love, and so it is hard because these churches have become such a part of the culture, and the people of Isger have come to rely on them. And so a lot of people think, hey, we don't like Cheliax that much, but the Church of Asmodeus, they're good. They help us. So it's very much a culture war. Oh, I don't know if I should say that, but it's very much a war of culture and this divide between how much power the Church of Asmodeus has over them. And we've got some great writers. We have some guy named Jason Keeley.
Who's that jerk?
Some guy. I don't know. We've also got let me make sure I'm saying all their names right. We have Jacob W. Michaels, and we also have Sen HHS, and then we've got some other authors who have done amazing work in the back matter to help supplement the book, and it's just going to be great, guys. And this is only part 1 of the adventures, because there's going to be a second adventure during the Hellfire Crisis, and just maybe we've heard your calls and prayers, and we made it a direct sequel to this one.
Yeah, that one's gonna be for the high levels and whatnot. So, Michelle, so you get to play as a member of the Hellbreakers League in this, or can you be somebody else?
You are going to be members of the Hellbreakers League, working from basically going from the bottom as just these scrappy little rebels, and building your organization up and marching around all over Isger to raise the people up and rally them to your cause.
Yeah, we're gonna see some goblins.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna see some goblins.
All right, exciting.
I mean, you saw a little picture of one right there.
Well, yeah, that's I think that's goblin. I mean, that's Golden Earnest propaganda. I'm sure that they don't necessarily.
Golden Earnest
of their own.
So when they said the Golden Arenas, so there's this organization that works with the government of Cheliax, It's a monk organization. Called the Sisterhood of the Golden Erinyes, which is like Erinyes are like black winged like fallen angel types that use bows. They're type of devil. And the Sisterhood of the Golden Erinyes is a knight order that like basically funded by Cheliax. And whenever girls of a certain age that live in orphanages and stuff like that, they're often sent off to the Sisterhood of the Golden Erinyes. Boys are sent to the Hell Knights, or just like anyone who wants to go to the Hell Knights, really. But yeah, so of course the Church of the Church of Asmodeus are all kind and like setting up these orphanages and stuff like that, when it's really just a way to get fodder for their machinations.
It's very mafia.
Yeah. The Sisterhood of the Golden Erinyes are also referred to as Devil Nuns, and I've kind of wanted to play one for a while. I think I have a fixation with Cheliax. I don't know. Like just the weird like badness of Cheliax just like attracts me for some reason.
Yeah, they're nothing but.
Sometimes those girls
one of these
yeah.
You know,
Of course, I wanted to play a monk
stuff.
for a
I
while.
remember writing some fun orphanage stuff. Fun orphanage stuff in your adventure.
And like if I played a monk, the character I most want to base a monk off of, because I really like the Clone Wars, I want to base a character off of Ventress from Clone Wars, because I really like Ventress. Ventress is one of my favorites.
Asajj Ventress is a really great character.
Yeah, Asajj Ventress is great. I love her.
What could that mean? Who knows? There's one more thing we can talk about for now that's part of Phase 1 of Hellfire Crisis, and that is the novel Operation Hellmouth by Chris.
Oh yeah, Operation
Jackson.
Hellmouth.
See
it's a novel.
The cover right now. This is the final cover. It's got a scary dragon on it. Love it. And it definitely ties into the Hellfire.
That's
Crisis.
A diabolus dragon. Well, a diabolic dragon.
Front there. He's getting swept up in all these Chelaxian machinations as aspects of his past come crashing into the present day. But it also features the beloved characters from all the other Chris A. Jackson novels: Pirate's Honor, Pirate's Promise, Pirate's Prophecy.
Oh, really?
But you don't need to read those. Have read those to follow the plot, but please go out and read them. They're fun stuff. And if you read the book's blurb, that's sort of up there. You'll mention that there's also a young.
I'm glad they're doing novels again.
It becomes part of that.
I think it's really needed.
Part of the crew or some.
It's a really novel
involved
idea.
with the plot.
Yeah,
somehow.
totally. I can't wait for the Starfinder one. I know I've said that multiple times, but it's true.
That is. So speculate amongst yourselves. The first chapter of this exciting story is available now in the softcover edition of God's Reign and depicts Valeros, Sione, and Harsk at the Battle of Hell Knight Hill. And so they're going to be there doing their own things. And it will all be Operation Hellmouth's going to be available on hardcover, ebook, and audiobook in November. So coming up real soon on that. And if you want to keep an eye on all these things and what's coming up in Phase 2. You're going to hear more about what the Lost Omens books are going to be for Phase 2, what the name of this second AP is going to be, all the stuff about the Year of Battle Spark, which is the scenario stuff, society stuff that's happening during the course of this event. You can keep track of it all at hellfirecrisis.com, which is going to be should be live now, so go check it out and look at some fun stuff. All right, does anyone have anything else they want to talk about before we maybe dive into these questions?
I'm ready for questions.
All righty. Here's one that just
I probably won't be covering the
less things.
The rest of the con.
Fair, that one is a bit
for
of a
the stream,
of course. Abigail, she's gonna.
But
like
I will be
likes,
posting
she's
about
dislike
them.
what she dislikes. You
probably
can't
later.
Tell Abigail what to do.
Whatever I see whenever I'm watching
right?
the rest of it.
suppose not.
Yes, you definitely cannot tell Abigail what to do.
Therapy?
Abigail Thrun the third is the current ruler of Hell. Not Hell, but Cheliax.
Asmodeus wants. I don't know.
I think the breakdown is good luck.
So like, Abigail Thrun the third. She killed the last one, I think. She took over the throne. And Hell installed 2 high-level devils to keep her in check. They're the ones that help her not make horrible decisions. But to not follow her, like, most basest impulses, because she's evil as fuck. Like, she's so bad, the devils have to be the ones to be the voice of reason.
Yeah. For instance. Okay.
She's
question
also
is, will the battle be made
kind of hot.
The battle, I assume this is for the Battle of Hell Night Hill. The Battle of Hell Night Hill is going to be, yes, part of our sort of canon of events that occur in the Lost Omens setting, right? It will have happened. Essentially, there's going into the future tense. It hasn't happened yet technically. It is basically sort of happening. If you follow the calendar, it's going to be happening in the summer of this year, 4725. And so when it happens at Gen Con, is basically that is when it is happening in Galarian. And so the stuff that you do in the Battle of Hill event, obviously we're going to be running sort of the same scenario.
I'm posting this in the Discord chat, but this is Abigail.
Sort of general outcome of the battle, i.e., Anduin wins. Hell Knights get pushed away is definitely going to be.
She's a high-level sorcerer, I think.
So if your rolls go really, really badly at Gen
Last time she was statted,
pulp a lot of books and scramble, and change up the whole event.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be just called. This will be called the Hellfire Crisis anymore. It'll be called the Hellfire. Everything's just fine.
I agree, Bear. Death to Cheliax and their hot leader.
So, gosh, so any more specific archetypes from Battlecry? I don't know if you. I know.
There's a lot of hot main characters, not main characters, but like hot high-level NPCs and just NPCs in general in Pathfinder. They made the choice to make everyone hot,
one
pretty
of the things
much.
That we're doing, there's going to be a couple remastered ones
in their own way,
and we're sort of basically bringing in the Aldori Duelist, right? But we're adding a couple extra feats to
There's
it. So it's not just remastered; it's added on too.
One character I think that was mentioned in one of the books.
In the back of that called Drow.
There's one of the books where they have a character who is a trans man who is like kind of like a heftier like the equivalent of an Asian guy walking around in like a kimono with like just top scars on display, but also fought an entire army with a frying pan, like a wok, like a giant wok. Yeah, they're pretty cool.
What are we gonna do with that? We can't say
they're part of a rebel group.
It is now
like
called
them.
the Crossbow Infiltrator, and it also has been remastered and has some new fun feats. And if anyone else, I could just throw out a couple names.
I'll claim one of the kind of fairly classic ones. There's a War Mage.
What's that gonna mean?
Gonna.
I
don't think they're showing much.
There's one just called a. This would be for those of you who are playing the Impossible playtest. Is that there is a what do we end up calling it? Necrologist? No, not. Yeah, something like that. Necrologist. It's a little bit like it's a little.
I'm gonna just for the sake of time because we've got like maybe less than an hour left of the stream if I even go that far. I'm gonna skip ahead to the Starfinder panel.
Yeah. I hope you have fun with that because I'm going to bed.
Okay, have a good night.
I need to sleep.
See you later.
Have a good night.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Everything she touches, she screws. There you go.
Sorry, guys.
Yes. I added that last night. Oh, we added that this morning. Yeah, actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna end the stream here, and just like I'll finish watching this later and post about it. Yeah, have a good night, everybody. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I actually do know what I'm doing tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna be doing a bunch of demos. For Steam games, and I'll see you there for that. Anyone who wants to watch that. So yeah, see ya. I hope people enjoyed the stream. This was an experiment for Pathfinder Fridays, I suppose. Or not Pathfinder Friday, but TTRPG Fridays and stuff. We'll see how that goes.